Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Pokemon. Sign in at the start of the game, Koga Ninja. Chapter 21. The young lady of his dreams finally arrived. Shu Mu was so excited that he ran deeper into the forest. Ahead was a small river that was not very clear. If nothing else happened, this young lady should have fallen into the water. Shu Mu thought and hurriedly followed the source of the sound and ran towards the lower reaches of the river. Really? After running less than 100 meters, Shu Mu saw the young lady struggling in the water. She hugged the frightened and crying round land shark tightly in her arms and shouted desperately. "Is there anyone? Help, well, help." Shu Mu said nothing. Although he didn't see the young lady's appearance clearly, based on his many years of experience as an LSP, he judged that this young lady was definitely the best. No need to think about it, it must be saved. Koga Ninja, follow me. In fact, Shu Mu himself can't swim. Living in the north, he is a complete landlubber. Fortunately, there was Koga Ninja, otherwise he would have stayed and flew with this young lady whose face he couldn't see clearly today. Coolbois, why are you rushing in if you don't know how to swim? Adding to the chaos. After seeing Shu Mu fall into the water, he started to sink with 2 symbolic slides, and the Koga Ninja was speechless. Good guy, you are really a talent. Standing on the shore, Koga Ninja used a surf move to firmly control the water in the river, and then made a leap to pull Shu Mu and the young lady back to the shore. The young lady suddenly returned to the shore. Just as she was about to speak, she choked and coughed. Shu Mu secretly glanced at the little sister's belly and thought to himself, you really don't need to drink enough water. After patting the young lady on the back, Shu Mu stepped forward and began to look at her carefully. The young lady has long golden hair. Although it is soaked by the water, it is not difficult to see that this hair is absolutely nice under normal conditions. After looking at the hair, Shu Mu lowered his head and looked at it from bottom to top. Sneakers, skinny jeans, a normal outdoor suit. The clothes are a black jacket with a light-colored bottoming shirt underneath. The touch on the bottoming shirt looks good. Looking up again, Shu Mu suddenly touched his nose awkwardly. The young lady stopped coughing at some point and was looking at Shu Mu with confusion on her face, not knowing what Shu Mu was doing. Ahem, let's check your situation. Are you okay? After coughing dryly, Shu Mu asked nonsense. It's no problem. Thank you for saving me and the round land shark. The young lady held on to her weak body and thanked Shu Mu. However, the moment their eyes met, Shu Mu was stunned. This. I've made a lot of money. What kind of young lady is this? This is Sirona. Holy shit. What's going on? There's still Sirona in this world. Shu Mu stood there dumbfounded for a long time, not knowing what to say. When the young lady, Sirona, saw Shu Mu like this, she turned her head and looked at Koga Ninja in confusion. Cool. Koga Ninja quickly waved his hand, indicating that he didn't know what was going on. Hello. Putting her hand in front of Shu Mu's eyes and waving it lightly, Sirona tried to bring Shu Mu back from his wandering thoughts. Sorry, I was distracted just now. Shu Mu came back to his senses, but still couldn't believe that the girl in front of him was Sirona, the famous Sinnoh champion in the original work. Observing her facial features carefully, Shu Mu found that except for the age difference between the young lady and the Sirona in his memory, she seemed a little green and did not have Sirona's domineering temperament. In other aspects, the frown and the smile between the eyebrows are exactly the same. My name is Shu Mu, My name is Sirona, from Western Europe. Seeing Shu Mu introduce herself, Sirona quickly answered, and at the same time, a faint smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. The moment he saw Sirona's smile, Shu Mu admitted that he had fallen. So, why did you come here alone? Shu Mu began to rummage through his backpack and took out a towel and a coat. Sirona looked at Shu Mu's work with some embarrassment. Her backpack had been scattered when she fell into the water. I'm here for a trip. I heard that a new secret realm has been opened in Dongtu, so I came to take a look. Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and the North and South Poles are the approximate geographical distribution of this world. Sirona is from Western Europe, and Shu Mu is not surprised. After all, how could there be a blonde beauty like her in Dongtu? Traveling by yourself. Shu Mu put the towel on Sirona's head, handed her the coat, and then asked in surprise. Yes, I have been admitted in advance to your Oriental College in Dongtu. I can enroll directly next year. So, I thought about traveling to Dongtu in advance this year to see the wonderful scenery here. Listening to Sirona's story, Shu Emu's eyes gradually flickered. Okay, like-minded people. Look, this is like-minded people. Sure enough, Sirona and I are a match made in heaven. And you? Taking off her dripping coat, Sirona put on the coat Shu Mu gave her, and then began to wipe her hair. Seeing Sirona asking herself, Shu Mu couldn't help but chuckle happily. I'm about the same as you, but I didn't get a recommendation. The school gave me a year's vacation, and I'll go back to take the unified examination next year. Seeing Shu Mu say this, Sirona was also a little surprised. Stopping wiping her hair, Sirona quickly asked, So you also traveled by yourself? Shu Mu nodded. Yes, we are very destined. After finding a natural tree hole, Shu Mu asked the Koga Ninja frog to drive away the flying mantis that originally lived in it, and then he took Sirona into it. Charmander, let me lend you your tail. Holding a pile of dry firewood and branches, Shu Mu lit a bonfire with the flames on the Charmander's tail. I'll go outside first. You can change your clothes. You'll get sick if you get wet. Finally, a shelf was set up next to the bonfire, and Shu Mu took out a spare set of clothes and handed them to Sirona before walking out of the tree hole. Arriving outside the cave, Shu Mu took a deep breath. It would be nice to have a cigarette at this time. I can smoke a cigarette to calm down. I didn't expect that the girl who was predicted by the system to be my destiny turned out to be Sirona, who hadn't grown up yet. As a game master in his previous life, Shu Mu was naturally no stranger to Sirona. Not to mention anything else, just as the champion of Sinnoh, Sirona's domineering aura and the contrast with her usual cuteness have made her attract countless fans. And Shu Mu is also one of countless people. It's interesting, I met Sirona who hasn't realized how domineering she is. Wait a minute, if you don't realize how domineering you are, doesn't that mean that Sirona is just cute now? I made a lot of money. Shu Mu, who had figured it out, shouted and almost rushed back into the tree hole in excitement. Fortunately, his reason stopped him. Don't be in a hurry, I can't eat hot tofu in a hurry, I'll take my time, slowly conquer the goddess Sirona, yes, slowly. Shu Mu kept patting his chest with his hands to calm himself down as much as possible. Don't get excited. Is it a big deal? I am a time traveler after all, or a super time traveler with a golden finger. I am so excited about such a trivial matter. What does it look like? Taking a deep breath, Shu Mu gradually calmed down his hot blood. Thank you, dog system. Thinking of the system's previous predictions, Shu Mu thanked the system for the first time. Then, the dog system is the dog system, and he is not worthy of Shu Mu's favor. The moment Shu Mu thanked him, a sudden change occurred. A thick fog suddenly appeared near Shu Mu, making it almost impossible to see. And in the fog, there was a huge figure approaching Shu Mu. What the hell? Shu Mu didn't have time to think too much and hurriedly called out Koga Ninja. Just now, in order to make it easier for Sirona to change clothes, he took his two elves back into the elf ball. It comes in handy at this time. Boom! With a loud noise, the huge figure in the fog jumped up and landed in front of Shu Mu. Shu Mu didn't have time to think too much, he just made a rough distinction and then yelled. Dog system, you are definitely trying to trick me. Carry the Koga Ninja frog to fight Entei in the Viridian Forest. I thought you were playing a trick on me with this mission. Are you serious? Bah, if I were buried here today, I would never be a trainer in this life. That's right, the figure in the fog is none other than Emperor Yan. It was so sudden, so inexplicable, Emperor Yan was really here. Shu Mu felt that his whole body was not well. What is the origin of the system? Can he still control Yan Emperor? No, if he was so powerful, why would he choose himself as the host? Wouldn't it be over if he just conquered the world by himself? Just when Shu Mu was thinking wildly, Emperor Yan stepped forward and did not give him any time to continue guessing. Ouch! With a slight roar, Emperor Yan looked at Shu Mu with burning eyes. What's the meaning? What is this guy going to do? Do you really want to fight me? No, even if I am the protagonist, there is no need to be so cheating, right? Emperor Yan came to me in such a far-fetched way, and then was defeated and subdued by me. I don't even dare to write like this in a novel, I'll be scolded to death by readers. Are you looking for me? Shu Mu looked at Emperor Yan warily and asked. Cool, you are very strong. Do you want to fight me? Koga Ninja stood in front of Shu Mu, his fighting spirit boiling instantly. Shu Mu naturally didn't know that his elf had his back turned to him and came forward to provoke him. He thought that Koga Ninja was worried that Entei would suddenly take action, so he stepped forward to warn him not to mess around. Sure enough, it turns out how important it is to master a foreign language. Shu Mu was successfully led astray by the Koga Ninja. Ouch. Then let's fight, I'm also very interested in you. Emperor Yan has a bad temper. How could he refuse when an elf challenges him? Just fight. Although he was not here to fight, when it came to fighting, Emperor Yan instantly forgot the purpose of his trip. I seem to be here for something. What am I here for? Shu Mu, Yandy and Koga Ninja had already gotten angry talking and seemed ready to take action at any time. They simply cursed the dog system secretly. Then choose to strike first. Koga Ninja, Bond Transformation. No matter what you are here for, as long as you express your intention to fight, there is danger. Shu Mu thought this, and instantly completed the transformation with Koga Ninja and started to be on guard. Those who are close to vermilion or red, and those who are close to ink or black. Shu Mu didn't know that he had been infected by his overly cautious little fire dragon unknowingly. In fact, there was no need to start a fight. But for some reason, Emperor Yan himself forgot what he was here for due to his fighting spirit. Roar. With a violent roar, Emperor Yan shot out flames without saying a word. Then he exerted force on his feet, and followed by the jet of flames, he came forward with a move of sacred flames. This guy didn't hold anything back, he really went all out. Shu Mu exclaimed and quickly commanded the Koga Ninja in his mind to dodge and prepare to counterattack. If nothing else goes wrong, this Entei should be at the peak level of a master. Now that Koga Ninja has transformed, he already has the strength of an early master. It's not impossible to fight this guy. After all, in addition to the ability to restrain Entei, Koga Ninja also has Shu Mu, a master tactician. Shadow Clone Technique, Flying Water Shuriken. The moment the Koga Ninja sprayed flames and reached him, he completed the seal of the Shadow Clone Technique. Then he stretched out his hands and threw a huge water spiral shuriken at the charging Entei. The proficiency in ninjutsu and the Rasengan obtained previously allowed Koga Ninja to successfully integrate the Shadow Clone's special move with ninjutsu and develop the Shadow Clone technique. The water spiral shuriken is a combination of the spiral pill and the water shuriken. The current Koga Ninja has a vague shadow of Uzumaki Naruto in Shippuden. Bang bang bang. The shadow summoned by the Shadow Clone technique is not just a shadow, but a clone with energy. There was not just one Koga Ninja frog using water spiral shuriken, but a dozen or so Koga Ninja frogs. In an instant, more than 30 shurikens were fired out, directly knocking back Entei, who was using the sacred flame. Ouch! What? After being pushed aside, Emperor Yan himself was stunned. What's the situation? Holy Flame is a super move that only divine beasts can master. Now, he was defeated head-on by this frog. Ignoring Entei's shock, Koga Ninja takes advantage of the victory and pursues him. After using the spiral water shuriken, the clones that lacked energy and collapsed gradually disappeared into the air. However, before they disappeared, they used a human ladder to push the Koga Ninja into the air. The Koga Ninja that fell from the sky was affected by gravity, and his whole body was wrapped in water. A palm technique that fell from the sky appeared. Well, that's surfing. Entei was unable to dodge and was hit head-on by Koga Ninja's attack. Pain. It hurts. Ouch. Emperor Yan cried out in pain. At this moment, he felt like his head was buzzing. You pissed me off, fool. Put down the harsh words, Emperor Yan can't bear it anymore this time. First he roared loudly, and then the roar increased his momentum, and Emperor Yan stamped his feet violently. Above the ground, cracks gradually appeared in the earth. And Emperor Yan's body also began to burn with crimson flames. Full power mode, on. As the flames burned intensified, Emperor Yan's strength was gradually increasing. Peak Master, Early Master, Middle Master, Late Master, and Peak Master. This is the strength a divine beast should have. Under normal circumstances, Emperor Yan restrained his fighting power, not because he was a dog, but because he had to hide his strength. Once the legendary elves appear, they will trigger visions between heaven and earth, and the appearance of the visions will also expose their own positions. Therefore, Emperor Yan did not use all his strength at the beginning. I just didn't expect Koga Ninja to be so strong, suppressing him one after another, bringing out Entei's anger. No, as Yan Emperor turned on his full power state, a pillar of fire shot straight into the sky. The entire sky seemed to be dyed red by flames, and the clouds turned red. Cool, holy shit, you can also transform. Seeing Entei's body burning with crimson flames and his strength rising steadily, Koga Ninja exclaimed. What a speed! Fangs of fire! Almost instantly, Entei suddenly bit the Koga Ninja, who had no time to dodge. Then, Emperor Yan, who was at full power, calmly glanced at the struggling frog in his mouth, and threw it out with a flick of his head. It's over. I'm in trouble. Before I came out, I clearly promised King Feng that I would not turn on full power and prevent humans from discovering my whereabouts. It's over, something happened, something big happened. Quickly withdrawing the flames from his body, Emperor Yan jumped out of Shu Emu's sight in 2 or 3 steps. It disappeared quickly. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the Koga Ninja Frog sign-in mission, bringing or using the Koga Ninja Frog to fight against Entei, and obtain the Heart of the Ocean as a reward. Start the next phase of the check-in task. Please check it yourself and keep up the good work. Shu Emu's face was frighteningly dark. It's not because Koga Ninja was defeated by Entei, it's because he feels that he has been tricked by the dog system again. What are you doing here, Emperor Yan? Did you arrange to come here? System, tell me, what's the point of directing and acting like this? You might as well just issue a mission and let me sit at home and become the strongest trainer in the world. Then if you have any conspiracy, you can use it to your heart's content. Can't you do it while I watch you show it off? What does this mean? Emperor Yan comes out of nowhere. Do you think I'm stupid? Can't you see that this was arranged by you? He kept spraying wildly from his mouth, making Shu Emu's liver tremble with anger. What the hell, just because of a disagreement, I was able to create an Emperor Yan. Are you free? Is there something wrong? Ding. Please don't misunderstand the system. The system will never actively interfere with the host's life. The system can't bear it anymore, so you can just curse a few times. But this time it's not my fault. Why do you let me take the blame? Why did Emperor Yan come? He didn't come to you. It's none of your business. It's your frog who insists on fighting with others. What is the system doing to you? If you scold the system like this, won't the system feel aggrieved? What bad intentions can the system have? It just wants you to become stronger. Ooh. Shu Mu was stunned by the system prompt. Sorry, do you think I will believe it? Only a fool would believe that Emperor Yan was not arranged by you. After complaining unhappily, Shu Mu looked at the Koga Ninja, who returned to him. Are you okay? Stepping forward to observe the injury of the Koga Ninja frog, Shu Mu felt relieved when he found that the Emperor Yan had not really bitten the frog to death. Cool, I lost. Please punish me, little master. Koga Ninja lowered his head and suddenly knelt down on one knee, looking like he was going to apologize. Well, he is a mythical beast, so he should be strong. There is no need for you to compare with him. Shu Mu thought that Koga Ninja lost the fight and was not happy. Then he smiled and comforted. Besides, you are already very strong. There is no need to always think about becoming stronger. There is no need. Hearing Shu Emu's words, Koga Ninja was a little confused. No need to become stronger. How can that work? How to protect the little master without getting stronger? Ah, I understand. The little master is definitely motivating me, using irony to make me remember the lessons of this failure. Cool, don't worry, little master, I will definitely remember this lesson. Defeating Emperor Yan is my first goal in the future. Sooner or later I will become a super elf. Shu Mu saw that after listening to his words, Shu Mu not only did not eliminate his fighting spirit, but instead looked at him with blazing fire in his eyes and clenched his fists with great motivation. He instantly understood that this guy definitely didn't listen to his words. Otherwise, he understood it wrong. Forget it, elves also have their own thoughts. Since Koga Ninja wants to become stronger, then I will support him. Anyway, as long as all the remaining elves don't act like this, I won't become a trainer. Can't every one of my elves be that strong? I do not believe. Did something happen outside just now? Sirona walked out of the tree hole. She had dried her clothes and put them on again. They saw Shumu and the injured Koga Ninja, as well as the mess outside the tree hole. Sirona asked doubtfully. Shumu didn't know how to explain it. Did I say that Emperor Yan came and had a fight with me, and he ran away after winning? Will she believe it? If it were me, I wouldn't believe it anyway. Ahem, nothing happened. Have you packed at all? Changing the topic, Shumu touched his nose awkwardly. Does lying really make your nose grow? Well, I've changed my clothes. Thank you very much, Shumu. Sirona stretched out her hand and thanked Shumu elegantly and gracefully. Shumu quickly handed over his wolf paw and held it with Sirona's delicate hand. The moment the two hands touched, Shumu only had one word left in his heart, "Ah, so soft." My heart has melted. Carefully rubbing Sirona's little hand, Shumu patiently savored the smoothness from the inside out. A long time. Shumu, can you let go? Sirona's little face was already red. Do you need 10 minutes to shake hands? My hands are sweating when you hold them. Only then did Shumu react, coughing dryly and retracting his wolf claws. Then, secretly annoyed that he was too abrupt and worried that Sirona was afraid of him, Shumu almost opened his mouth and forcefully explained. Where I'm from, the longer the handshake lasts, the more respect the other person has. Well, that's it. Just like your Western European kissing etiquette, it's a custom. After hearing Shuemu's explanation, Sirona suddenly raised her head as if she had opened the door to a new world. So that's it. Sure enough, customs are different in different parts of the world. Seeing that Sirona actually believed what he said, Shumu was stunned for a moment. Oh my gosh, silly Sirona is so cute. I really want to take her home. What should I do? Let me go, this violent newt is too arrogant. Just when Shumu was fascinated by Miss Sirona, a violent salamander was flying at low altitude and passed over the heads of the two of them. Shumu complained, thinking that the matter would be settled like this. As a result, the violent salamander turned back and stopped beside Shumu. Hey, boy, did you see that pillar of fire that appeared just now? On top of the violent salamander is a middle-aged uncle wearing a black cloak. I don't know, I haven't seen it, I don't understand it. Shumu directly rejected Sanlian. Without even looking at the violent newt, he took Sirona's hand again and walked into the tree hole. Well, he just wants to hold hands. Finding opportunities to hold the young lady's hand is the key. The middle-aged uncle was stunned by Shuemu's reaction, and then became furious. You actually don't respect a powerful quasi-king of heaven. Boy, you are looking for death. Shumu pretended to be competitive whenever he disagreed, and rolled his eyes at the violent salamander in the sky. Uncle, who is not chained up and let you out to make your presence felt? Stopping, Shumu stood in front of Sirona, first protected his little sister, and then spoke back. Can a time traveler who doesn't hate others still be called a time traveler? Just kidding, I, Shumu, have 100 ways to scold you without making you cry. Come crazy with me here. Crazy about your sister. Do you think you are the king of heaven? You. The uncle was stunned. He hesitated for a long time when he opened his mouth, but he didn't know what to say to refute Shumu. Indeed, he just looked at Sirona and wanted to have a sense of presence. Moreover, considering his age, there is nothing wrong with Shumu calling him uncle. Koga Ninja, I'll leave it to you to find a sense of presence even though you're not strong enough. Shumu asked the Koga Ninja who was sitting aside to spray medicine on himself to come over, and Shumu chuckled lightly. Cool, are we going to fight again? Koga Ninja ginseng. Instantly bursting out with king-level strength, Koga Ninja stared at the violent salamander in the sky and smiled. The uncle was stunned again. Isn't this kid older than my son? Where did the king-level elf come from? Ahem, forget it if you didn't see it. I have other things to do and I don't have time to mess around with a kid like you. The uncle forced himself to add drama, found a reasonable excuse, and prepared to run away. There is no way. This kid is too strong. What can he do? He is helpless. Forget it, I didn't look at the almanac when I went out today, so I'd better leave first. The middle-aged uncle tightened his cloak helplessly and prepared to leave. Shumu quit. Why, you come and leave when you want. You pretend to be cool and you want to run away, you just run away, and you say harsh words. Do you think I have breasts? Just pinch them if you ask me to. Don't go, uncle. The sun is not dry and the breeze is just right. Wouldn't it be nice to have a fight with my Koga Ninja frog? Shu Emu's lazy tone was like an evil ghost urging him to die in the eyes of the middle-aged man. In the wild, the weak should respect the strong. This is the rule. In the secret realm, all kinds of electronic equipment malfunctioned, and strength was everything. If you don't respect the strong, then you don't need to say much about what will happen, everyone knows it. Well, there's no need to fight. My friends are still waiting for me. We have a mission. Cold sweat broke out on the uncle's forehead, and he wanted to move out of his backstage, which was his mercenary team. The powerful people in this world will choose to sit on one side and enjoy fame, wealth and resources, which can be regarded as a reliable living. After all, being a trainer is not only a dangerous job, but also a costly one. But there are always some people who are either ugly, not smart enough, or just want to die. If he doesn't want to sit on one side or no one wants him to sit on one side, he can only form a mercenary team to explore secret realms and complete various tasks to make a living. And the middle-aged uncle in front of him who is in a dilemma falls into the latter category. Now that it's come to this, uncle, you really want to save face and suffer the consequences. Shu Mu said heart-wrenchingly, and held Sirona's hand tightly. So soft. Is face so important? You still don't respect and be honest enough when it comes to strong people. Your friends, let them come and all fight together. Shu Mu didn't insist on beating this middle-aged uncle or anything, but he just couldn't stand his arrogance. People in society are evil, and the most worthless thing is face. This uncle is so old and still doesn't understand this truth. After provoking Shu Mu, he still wants to save his face. Isn't this just offending people? In general, he despised Shu Mu because he was too young. In this case, Shu Mu doesn't mind being a villain and teaching this middle-aged uncle that he will not be tolerated in society and he will learn a lesson sooner or later. The uncle's thoughts were exposed by Shu Mu, and he was speechless. He gave Shu Mu a somewhat resentful look. I'm sorry, sir, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said such arrogant words. In the face of strength, the uncle still bowed his head. He let the violent newt land and walked to the ground to apologize obediently. However, Shu Mu raised his eyelids and shook his head. Uncle, you still don't understand. With a sigh, Shu Mu continued, can't you stop that resentful look in your eyes? Do you think I'm stupid? Or do you think I'm blind? I really don't understand how someone like you can live to such an old age. You were the one who died in the first episode of the TV series. Oh, do you know where you went wrong? You still have the nerve to apologize to me for speaking arrogantly. Aren't you embarrassed by this excuse? After Shu Mu finished speaking, he shook his head in disappointment. He is just a fool. With his intelligence, he is lucky to have met a kind person like me. Otherwise, you will be sold sooner or later, and you still have to smile and ask for money. Let me help you count. Forget it, don't pretend to be surprised, you don't know how to scold me. Seeing the middle-aged uncle looking very surprised, Shu Mu sneered. This person just needs beating and training. There is no way, who told me, Shu Mu, to be a good person. This kind of hammering and grinding work is my favorite. Sirona, let's go to the tree hole to take a rest. Charmander said he was hungry. The little fire dragon on the side was a little confused, but after seeing the look in Shu Mu's eyes, he understood. Yes, I'm hungry. Sirona didn't know what was going on, her big eyes were full of doubts. What about this uncle? Shu Mu chuckled, holding her little hand and walking into the tree hole. This uncle, let society teach him how to behave. I can't control him. After saying that, he took the ignorant Sirona and walked into the tree hole. The Koga Ninja who stayed in place waited for Shu Mu to enter the tree hole before grinning. Cool. Introduction. My name is Society, I just changed my name. My little master said, he doesn't care about you, let me sharpen you. In the tree hole, Shu Mu used the firelight to prepare elf food and lunch while looking at Sirona's appearance in her prime. It's called beauty in my heart. Mom, I seem to have found true love, this little sister, I must chase her. Well, why is it so noisy outside? Did something happen? Sirona is cute, but not stupid. She is just similar to that silly thing Xiaoji, with a pure heart and absolute talent for fighting. As for things other than fighting, she didn't care. Hearing screams coming from outside the tree hole, Sirona asked Shumyu. Ahem, that, outside the tree hole. Shumyu couldn't help but cover his mouth in laughter, not knowing how to explain. Suddenly, he had an idea. A pillar of fire just appeared in Viridian Forest. Some legendary elves may have appeared, so it's quite chaotic outside. This sound should be fighting. There is chaos outside now, and fighting is common. When we go out in a while, remember to hold my hand. Otherwise, if you encounter danger, I'm afraid I won't be able to protect you in time. After Shumyu finished speaking, he felt that he was such a smart little ghost. I can think of all these excuses to hold hands, I really have no one. Sirona blinked her big eyes, a little confused. Does danger have something to do with the handle? Shumyu quickly explained, of course. If an elf suddenly appears and attacks us, I can catch you immediately and help you resist harm. Sirona nodded in relief. Although she still had some doubts in her heart, her intuition told her that there was something wrong here. But Sirona didn't want to think too much, it was too tiring to think so much. Shumyu is a good person. He just saved her and now he is preparing lunch for her. Such a good person will not lie to others. After a long time, the Koga Ninja clapped his hands and walked into the tree hole. Hurry up and eat, I've been waiting for you. Solved. Cool. Necessary. Shumyu looked at him and smiled knowingly. It should be said or not, although Shumyu is casual, he still has a big temper. A true villain who must retaliate against others is one of Shumyu's distinctive characteristics. This uncle pretended to be competing with Shumyu in front of the young lady. If Shumyu didn't educate him, it would be totally unreasonable. Fortunately this time, the young lady is Sirona, and fortunately Shumyu is very powerful. Otherwise, the uncle's pretentious slap in the face will definitely affect Shumyu's impression in front of the young lady. Therefore, Koga Ninja must punish him and let him know how to behave in the future. And Shumyu feels that there is nothing wrong with what he is doing. Your parents are not willing to teach you social survival skills, so I will teach you. How kind I am, teaching you for free and not charging tuition. After eating, Shumyu got Sirona's hand as he wished, and the two got ready and set off. Have you made any plans to travel here? Enjoying the smoothness of Sirona's little hands, Shumyu asked happily. Plan? Sirona was confused, raised her head and thought for a while. It shouldn't be possible. Is it a plan to go wherever it looks good? Shumyu shook his head, feeling ecstatic. I didn't plan it well, just be more casual and I'll have a chance. Ha 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 ha. It just so happens that I'm also planning to travel outside for a year to see the beautiful scenery of this world. Shall we go together? Invite. An honest invitation. Shumyu knows very well that for a pure girl like Sirona, don't beat around the bush, only going straight is the last word. Okay. Sirona agreed quickly. You are the first friend I made when I came to Dongtu. Hearing Sirona say this, Shumyu smiled. This smile is free of any impurities, 3 parts gentle, 3 parts frank, and 4 parts sunny. He is very much like the big brother next door, giving people a feeling of trustworthiness. It was such an honor, and Sirona was also the first friend I made from Western Europe. Shumyu said, raising Sirona's little hand. Friendship forever. Sirona smiled happily and followed Shumyu. Well, friendship will last forever. Yuanlu Shark suddenly jumped up from the ground and bit Shumyu's head. You fool, I've noticed something wrong with you a long time ago. You definitely want to conquer my cute family. Watch me bite you to death. Yuan Lusha had long disliked Shumyu along the way, and had always suspected that Shumyu was having crooked ideas about Sirona. But now, he was finally sure that Shumyu was trying to trick Sirona. If you touch my lovely heart, I will bite you to death. Shumyu was bitten and caught off guard. Ah, Yuanlu Shark, what are you doing? Relax. Sirona looked at the round land shark that suddenly attacked Shumyu in shock, and shouted quickly. Yuanlu Shark hurriedly explained. This guy wants to hit you, I will bite him to death. They are all men, how can I know what the hell he has in mind? I can't even speak clearly when I bite him. Yuanlu Shark waved his little hands and wanted to say something excitedly, but unfortunately, he couldn't. Moreover, it would be useless even if he said it, Sirona wouldn't understand. Relax, round land shark. Sirona was a little angry. She stepped forward and grabbed the round land shark's body to make him let go. Due to Sirona's obstruction, the round land shark still failed to bite Shumu to death, but left a row of tooth marks on Shuemu's head without any pain. Shumu, are you okay? I'm sorry. Yuan Lusha has always been very well behaved before. I didn't expect him to bite you suddenly. Sirona was so anxious that she almost cried. She looked at Shumu with red and swollen eyes and apologized again and again. As an LSP, Shumu guessed Yuanlu Shark's thoughts immediately. But it's just an elf, fighting with me. You are still a little young. It's okay, the round land shark must be joking with me. Shumu forced a smile and continued. I remember that the round land shark's teeth develop very quickly and it often likes to bite things. Sirona nodded. The round land shark does often bite things and tear down homes. However, looking at Shumu worriedly, Sirona wanted to say that the round land shark has never bitten anyone before. I'm really fine. The shark didn't bite my head hard at all. It probably bit me because it liked me. Shumu continued to explain. Not only did he pretend to be nonchalant, he also looked at Yuanlu Shark and said, "You say so, Yuanlu Shark." Yuan Lusha looked glumly at the cute girl being tricked by Shumu, and was so confused that he didn't care about himself who was fighting hard for her. Seeing Shumu mentioning him, Yuan Lusha just wanted to deny it. Suddenly I felt a strong pressure coming on me. It's Koga Ninja. Boy, think about it, if you say nonsense, I will change your name to society at any time. Yuanlu Shark was instantly frightened. Yahoo! He instantly transformed into a well-behaved little cutie, jumped into Shuemu's arms, and let Shumu hold his big head. Shumu held the round land shark's big head and smiled with satisfaction. Little thing, I can't cure you. They're all men, of course you know what I'm thinking. But you definitely don't know that your opponent is an LSP with a full level of T-art skills. You are not worthy to be my love rival. Really. Seeing Yuan Lusha being ravaged by Shumu, he still endured it with a smile on his face. Sirona said, I don't understand. Yeah, you don't understand the friendship between boys. Shumu Yangguang smiled. Although the row of tooth marks on his head affected his image, it did not affect his ability to drink green tea. Koga Ninja, if you have a chance in the future, teach him a lesson. Giving Koga Ninja a look, Shumu thought to himself. Koga Ninja nodded quickly. Got it, this guy can't run away. Sir, based on the concentration of the remaining flame energy, we can infer that the legendary spirit that appears this time is definitely Emperor Yan. Okay, I understand, let everyone go to Viridian Forest now. Yes, in the new secret realm in the east, there are mysterious beasts appearing. Come on, let's go take a look. Chief, there is a vision of a mythical beast in Chengpan's secret realm. The people below reported that it may be Emperor Yan. The old man bent down and reported to a man with a majestic face. Emperor Yan, let a few venerables go take a look. The man is the chief of Eastern Earth, the leader of the Eastern Earth Alliance. Your Majesty, in the Eastern Land, you are a person above the gym leader. This does not mean that the venerable must be stronger than the hall master, but most of the venerables serve the Alliance and often perform some tasks and need to travel here and there. Similar to the four heavenly kings in the elf comics. Okay, then let Venerable Dongfang, Venerable Haoyu and Venerable Tianshu go and have a look. The chief nodded and said yes. While Shumu and Miss Sirona were chatting and cultivating their relationship, the top experts from all over the world were gathering in the secret realm. Cool, little master, something seems wrong here. There are often all kinds of cute little animals in the forest. They will jump out unexpectedly and scare you. Under normal circumstances, Shumu would be relatively indifferent to things like walking in the forest. But now that he has a little sister, Shumu said that holding hands like this, he can take Sirona for a year. What's wrong? Shumu, who was telling a joke to Sirona, was suddenly interrupted by Koga Ninja, and felt a little unhappy. Koga Ninja is speechless. If you have a girl, you will forget about me. Cool, there seems to be someone fighting in front. Koga Ninja pointed to the distance and made a few more gestures. Shumu frowned slightly. Fight. Sirona, there's a fight over there, do you want to take a look? Turning his head, Shumu changed his face instantly and asked Sirona with a smile on his face. It's better not to go. Sirona is not a nosy person, and she is unwilling to get involved in things that have nothing to do with her. Shumyu thought to himself, I knew it, otherwise I wouldn't have asked you. In fact, he didn't want to go either. When you are away from home, it is better to do less than to do more. At the moment, it is more important to cherish the world between you and Sirona. However, even if Shumyu doesn't want to go, he is bound to have troubles as he has the aura of the protagonist. I am stupid. Hearing an explosion ring in his ears, Shumyu gritted his teeth and cursed. I knew I wouldn't be able to avoid something like this. Blocking Sirona behind him for the first time, Shumyu looked at the explosion. A Chunglong fell to the ground with burns all over his body and lost his ability to fight. Shumyu, Sirona exclaimed and looked at Shumyu with her big eyes. The meaning is simple, let's save him. Shumyu was speechless, responded to Sirona with his most passionate eyes, and then stepped forward with a grimace. Chunglong's injury seems to be that of Emperor Yan. Shumyu took a look and was surprised to find that the Chunglong was burned by Emperor Yan's flames. Koga Ninja, are you feeling better? Cool, little master, there is no problem with me. Seeing this guy alive and kicking, Shumyu felt relieved. Okay, then you bandage Chunglong and treat his burns, and then we go to see the situation. After Shumyu finished speaking, he turned back to Sirona and naturally held Sirona's little hand. What, am I responsible for bandaging? This, I am an elf. Is it easy for me? Well, luckily I, Koga Ninja, can do the decathlon, otherwise what would my little master do without me? Start working, rush, rush. Koga Ninja was cheering himself up with thoughts, and at the same time moved his hands to bandage Chunglong seriously. It's just a burn treatment, no big deal. I, Koga Ninja, am on the battlefield. Ahem, I've treated Charmander's burns many times, so it's not a big problem. After taking a sneak peek, Koga Ninja breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that Yuanlu Shark and Charmander didn't pay attention to him. Talk too much, talk too secretly. 10 minutes later, the Koga Ninja bandaged Chunglong, and Shumyu led the team to the distant fighting place. Good guy, if you don't know this, you will be shocked when you see it. The one who hurt Chunglong was indeed Emperor Yan. But Emperor Yan is really not easy now. More than a dozen people and more than 30 elves, underground, on the ground, and in the air, all formed a trinity to double team Yan Emperor. Among these elves, apart from anything else, just looking at the aura they exude, the weakest ones are at the level of kings. Strong ones even reach the peak of masters. Good fellow, Emperor Yan dug up the ancestral grave of a strong man. Shumyu murmured and asked. Sirona on the side was also a little confused. She didn't know the others, but she knew the group of Western European forces that besieged Emperor Yan. Uncle Tatu, Sister Leona. When Shumyu heard that Sirona knew the strong man over there, the big paw holding her little hand subconsciously let go. It would be embarrassing if the parents caught this little girl cheating. Seeing Shumyu suddenly let go, Sirona was a little uncomfortable for a while. Subconsciously, he turned his wrist and grabbed Shumyu's big paw with his backhand. Shumyu was speechless, that's all. If you fool one person, you are a liar, but if you fool a group of people, you are a saint. Today, I, Shumyu, will risk my life. Just hold hands, Sirona is so proactive, how can I, Shumyu, be cowardly? Seeing more than 30 elves on the field besieging Emperor Yan, Sirona was a little confused. Shumyu, you said they are all here to capture Emperor Yan. Sirona murmured. Shumyu opened his mouth, not knowing how to answer. Right. Hearing this, Sirona lowered her head sadly. Shumyu understood what she was thinking, because the two of them were the same kind of people who really liked elves. It's okay, I'll stop them. Reaching out his hand to gently rub Sirona's hair, Shumyu stood up straight and took big steps. Everyone over there, stop it. You should say it or not, but Shumyu is indeed a ruthless person. In front of so many strong men, Shumyu was not afraid at all. Of course, even if he was afraid, he couldn't show it. Sirona is a kind-hearted young lady, so when faced with this situation of siege, her kindness broke out. A girl with an innocent heart is rare and must be cherished. So Shumyu stood up without hesitation. You all stop, it's almost done. How about a group of people beating up an elf and losing face? As soon as Shumyu said this, the big guys were displeased. Seeing this young boy suddenly come out and speak arrogantly in front of Emperor Yan without saying a word, a strong man became furious. Boy, leave quickly, this is not something you can participate in. The strong man relied on the master-level water arrow turtle beside him and scolded Shumyu. His words also represented the meaning of the strong men present. Everyone besieged for a long time, and finally saw Emperor Yan being injured and declining, but a young boy came out halfway. Who can bear this? If Emperor Yan takes the opportunity to run away, whose fault is it? Oh, why can't I participate? Tell me. Shumyu was still a little unsure. Faced with such a group of powerful people, if a conflict broke out, it would be a big deal. But when he was attacked, Shumyu instantly became angry. In what era? How come all the monsters dare to talk nonsense to me? Young people should not be too arrogant. If they are not arrogant, would they be called young people? Shumyu is also a time traveler after all, and equipped with a system, the protagonist's destiny is fully guaranteed. With this kind of capital, I don't even pretend to be dead, so why are there always blind people who take the initiative to become my villain? Do you know who you're talking to right now? Seeing that Shumyu dared to talk back, another strong man said angrily. Who is it? I'm the king of heaven. Shumyu still sneered, his disdain clearly visible on his face. I didn't want to stand out at first, so just stay down and enjoy life, how wonderful it is. However, some people think they can do it. It's hot and I'm very angry. I won't smile. Brother, please stop making trouble. This is Venerable Dongfang, but he is a top expert in the early stage of the master. Guys, be wise and get out of here. When the man saw Shumyu not moving, he opened his mouth and cursed angrily. The Venerable Dongfang who spoke at the beginning raised his head proudly when this man introduced himself. Shumyu smiled. Good guy, in the early stage of master, why are you so crazy? You can't move this Emperor Yan. Shumyu said in a cold voice with a straight face, facing many strong men alone. At the beginning, Shumyu came forward for Sirona and for the thread in his heart. Elves can be captured, but they must be captured in a proper way. What does it mean to besiege like this? Why, the mythical beast should be besieged. Did the mythical beast dig your ancestral graves or beat your children? If your strength is not good enough, try to improve your own strength. If you can't beat them in a single fight, you can recruit a group of people and insist on 5 or 6 people pretending to be stupid and not doing human affairs. Shumyu couldn't stand this. When you come to this world, strength is the most important thing. Even though Shumyu is just an amateur, he is not afraid of any power as long as he is strong. Perhaps, I fell into the pit dug by the system unknowingly. Strength is respected, even I agree with this sentence now, right? With a sigh, Shumyu raised his head and looked at everyone. The Venerable Dongfang felt that his dignity had been provoked, twitched the corner of his mouth and said angrily. Boy, you can't move even if you say you can't. Doesn't Emperor Yan belong to your family? Shumyu grinned when he heard this. Sorry, this Emperor Yan belongs to my family. Just now my elf was disobedient and I had a fight with him. Now he is still angry with me and has run away from home. Just in time, you are all here too. It's time to settle the accounts for bullying my elf just now. As he spoke, Shumyu stretched out his hand and pointed at Lord Dongfang. Come on, I, the master, will teach you, Lord Dongfang, my elf. I, Shumyu, the new trainer in Fengcheng, challenge you. Of course, if you are shameless, you can also fight in a group. Shumyu said, and all the powerful men burst into laughter. Especially the guy who introduced Lord Dongfang laughed the most. Boy, you really don't have enough brains to challenge Venerable Dongfang. You are a new trainer. Are you worthy? This man spoke like a dog. Behind him, another licking dog hurriedly agreed. That is, are you worthy of challenging Lord Dongfang? Boy, go home quickly, maybe your family is still worried about you. Shumyu was stunned. Where did these 2 licking dogs come from? You two, are your surnames Dongfang, or have you eaten the rice from Lord Dongfang's house? Just open your mouth and start licking. How much will Venerable Dongfang give you per month? With your virtues, you are not worthy of eating 4 dishes in this life. I don't deserve it, but you do. What the hell, you just scream when you open your mouth. Shumyu spoke and retaliate mercilessly, while pointing his hand at Lord Dongfang again. I challenge you, can you beat the faster one or not? If you don't dare, I'll pick the next one, don't waste your time. Shu Mu was very arrogant. He stood proudly, with his back to Emperor Yan, and looked at Lord Dongfang with a playful expression. Boy, you are very interesting. Venerable Dongfang was scolded by Shu Mu for a long time, and the already angry little universe finally exploded at this moment. At first, I was worried that Shu Mu was a child and it would be difficult to do anything, and I was worried about being criticized. He is a dignified venerable person, fighting against a new trainer. If word spreads about this, wouldn't he be laughed at? But since Shu Mu was so ignorant, he took the initiative to provoke him again and again. Then there's no way. Come on, I won't bully you, I'll just use. Shu Mu directly interrupted Venerable Dongfang's pretense. I asked you to use 6, stop talking nonsense and come on. Saying that, Shu Mu called the Koga Ninja. Ready to fight. Cool, received. Seeing that Shu Mu was ready to be embarrassed, Lord Dongfang glanced at Koga Ninja with disdain. Pretending to be superior, he waved his hand and released a Leichu. This is the weakest elf I brought, a little guy in the late stage of Heavenly King. If you can defeat him, I will give you a chance, apologize to me properly, and I will forgive you. Lord Dongfang said, pretending to be reluctant. It seems so embarrassing to fight against Shu Mu. Okay, I just said this to you. I won't forgive you even if you apologize. Shu Mu really couldn't stand it anymore. What kind of quality do the strong men in this world have? I met a mentally retarded uncle before, and here are 2 licking dogs, plus this pretender. It's really speechless. Koga Ninja, Flying Water Shuriken. Since the war started, Shu Mu was not polite and gave the order directly. Although Raichu seems to be stronger than Koga Ninja, this is all superficial. In front of the master tactician Shu Mu, he had 10,000 ways to defeat this Raichu without any injuries. Okay, 10,000 kinds is a bit of a boast. The Koga Ninja quickly approached Raichu using the interference of the Flying Water Shuriken as a cover. Before anyone could react, a secret attack hit Raichu's back. Thunderchu, Iron Tail. Lord Dongfang did not expect that Shu Mu would have the strength of a Heavenly King, and he was stunned at that time. After thinking about it, he ordered Lei Chu to fight back, but he didn't know that his actions were all expected by Shu Mu. In short, I predicted your prediction. Supernatural power, control him, then don't be polite, direct the wave of evil. Koga Ninja reacted quickly and immediately used his magical power to control Raichu in place before Raichu's Iron Tail arrived. Then an evil wave hit him head on. It's not enough. Let's give him another wave of water and a swallow return. Koga Ninja's attack didn't even pause. As long as Shu Mu gives an order, he will act immediately and enforce the orders and prohibitions. In the blink of an eye, another set of combos was launched, and Raichu was completely stunned. The wave of water covered him, making him lose his vision when he wanted to fight back. Then he used Yan Hui's move and hit the vital point again, causing more damage. Raichu was immediately honored. Lord Dongfang, is this it? Seeing Lei Chu being killed instantly, Shu Mu smiled and looked at Lord Dongfang in the distance with a joking expression. Venerable Dongfang did not expect that his Lei Chu would be defeated by his opponent without any injuries. Obviously, in terms of strength, our side still has the advantage. Boy, you pissed me off. I'm serious, just wait for death, I won't forgive you even if you apologize now. After saying harsh words, he took back Raichu and released his other elf. Bidiao, come on, the peak of the king's competition. Seeing Bai Diao's imposing manner, Shu Mu's eyes narrowed. It's not easy to fight, but it's not impossible to fight. Koga Ninja, leap. Bai Diao, Yan Wei follows up, and then air cuts. Venerable Dongfang is also a master-level expert after all. Lei Chu was defeated before because he underestimated Shu Mu too much. Now seriously, this guy has 2 skills. The Koga Ninja watched the big eagle flying behind him like lightning without any panic. Because Shu Mu's next order has not yet arrived. How naive, do you think I used leap to jump up and hit you? Shu Mu sneered. It is difficult for elves to dodge attacks when they are in the air. And the Koga Ninja frog can't fly, so if he wants to attack the Hideo, he can only jump high. This is a common mistake made by many new trainers. They let the elves jump up and attack the flying elves, but ignore the issue of avoidance. The opponent often catches this to counterattack. Obviously, Lord Dongfeng thought that Koga Ninja's leap was as simple as jumping up and attacking at close range. He thought he had caught Shu Emu's flaw, and was secretly happy with disdain. In fact, Shu Mu had already arranged everything for him. Koga Ninja, let's also use Yan Wei, and then control the eagle. In the air, the disadvantaged Koga Ninja suddenly turned back and came to the sky above Bai Diao. Then by the force of gravity, it fell behind Bai Diao. He grabbed Bai Diao's head with one hand and tightened Bai Diao's feathers with the other. Koga Ninja has unlocked a new achievement, taming the eagle frog. Throw him off and use fierce wind. Lord Dongfeng panicked. He didn't expect Shu Mu to predict his prediction. In this wave of tactical confrontation, he was on the first level and Shu Mu was on the atmosphere. The fierce storm requires the elf to continuously wave its wings to perform, and Bai Diao also took advantage of this opportunity to get rid of the Koga Ninja frog. You've come this far, do you still need me to teach you how to do it? Shu Mu didn't care about Bai Diao's struggle and ordered the Koga Ninja to attack. Cool, no need, I understand. In response to Shu Mu, Koga Ninja is no longer a human being. Firmly embedded in the back of Bai Diao, the Koga Ninja began to attack crazily. Flying water shuriken, continuous flying water shuriken. No matter how Bai Diao used his flying skills, the Koga Ninja relied on its strong flexibility to stick firmly to Bai Diao's back and attack with its head buried in the air. Less than 3 minutes later, it was even worse than Diao. It fell from the sky. Koga Ninja landed on the ground and shook the bright red scarf around his neck proudly. This scarf is also his tongue. It's a small trick that doesn't make sense. Venerable Dongfeng was clearly panicking in his heart, but he refused to give in. After scolding Shu Mu, he took back the eagle and sent the next elf on the scene. Bulbasaur in the early stage of Master. Bulbas. After appearing on the scene, Bulbasaur had no idea of her dangerous situation. With a loud cry, he looked at the little thing in front of him, the Koga Ninja frog. Bulbasaur, it's sunny. Lord Dongfeng became cautious and chose to use Qingqing first. The already sunny weather became a bit hotter, and the sun in the sky seemed to become brighter with this unique trick. Motivate yourself, then Shadow Clone. So far, Shu Mu has not exposed his ninjutsu and bond transformation, and has only let Koga Ninja fight with his own strength. The main reason is that there are 3 elves left in this Eastwind Messenger, 4 including Bulbasaur. If Shu Mu exposes his trump card now, it will be even harder for Lord Dongfeng to fight later if he is on guard. Energy Ball. Water Wave. The moment the Bulbasaur flower cleared up, Koga Ninja also completed his self-motivation. Shu Mu and Lord Dongfeng ordered the attack almost at the same time. Boom! A huge explosion sounded. The energy ball of grass power collides with the water wave of water power. Although Koga Ninja used it as self-motivation to improve his double attack. But now that the venue is sunny, the power of water-based skills will be weakened. Sure enough, after the 2 skills collided, the energy ball dispersed the wave of water and rushed straight towards the Koga Ninja, with its remaining power undiminished. Avoid magical power. Seeing that Koga Ninja's skill was broken, Shu Mu quickly ordered. Turning sideways, Koga Ninja dodged the energy ball, and then used his magical backhand to directly deal tons of damage. The super power type restrained the poison type, and Koga Ninja's blow severely damaged Bulbasaur. That's not enough. I kept using water shurikens to contain him, and when I got close to him, I fired a freezing beam from 0 range. Shu Mu said, looking disdainfully at Lord Dongfeng opposite. It's true that anyone can be a venerable person. Forget it, if you ask me to be generous, I will treat it as a charity. I will personally teach you how to be a good person today. Freezing Light, perfect hit. Although Bulbasaur is very powerful, his size limits him to being a living target. Therefore, Shu Mu can win this battle easily. After being hit by the freezing ray, Koga Ninja added a blizzard move and sent Bulbasaur home directly. 1 vs 3. When Bulbasaur fell down, everyone was stunned. This new trainer actually defeated the 3 elves of Master Dongfeng, and he only used a Koga Ninja in the middle stage of Heavenly King. Fighting genius. The strong man from Western Europe immediately commented to Shu Mu. It would be a shame for such a fighting genius and master tactician to not be a trainer. Venerable Dongfeng's face turned dark. He never expected that he would go out on a mission and now his reputation would be in jeopardy. Being singled out by a new trainer will probably make him the laughingstock of the venerable world, and he will be laughed at for the rest of his life. Bulbasaur, come back. Taking back the elves, Lord Dongfang didn't want to drag it on any longer. Go straight to the intensity and the main force appears. Hybrid Dragon. As soon as the marsupial dragon, which possesses the late-stage strength of a master, appeared on the stage, the strong men onlookers let out an exclamation of exclamation. Venerable Dongfang's ace elf, the Pogodon. He was actually forced out by this kid. Hybrid Dragon, Mega Evolution. Lord Dongfang is so rude. After summoning his trump card, he did not forget to use Mega Evolution, allowing the strength of the marsupial dragon to directly reach the level of the peak master. Boy, you may never see this kind of magical evolution with your own eyes. Seeing Shu Mu looking a little lost in the marsupials, Lord Dongfang thought he was frightened by the Mega Evolution of the marsupials. Finally, I got the excuse to show off, and as soon as I opened my mouth, I pretended to be a big show-off. Shu Mu was too lazy to fight back. Mega Evolution, I have seen more than your ancestors have ever seen. Koga Ninja, I can't bear it anymore, I'm bound to transform. Without hesitation, Shu Mu directly slapped Lord Dongfang in the face with reality. You said that I have never seen a Mega Evolution, ha ha ha, let me show you how to evolve without using evolution stones. Have you seen this? Didi, think twice before yelling next time. My hands hurt from being slapped in the face like this. Ignoring the confused looks of the big guys, Shu Mu directly synchronized his mind with the Koga Ninja and began to attack. Isn't it just a mega marsupial? Isn't it the pinnacle of masters? So neat. Shadow clone technique. Water spiral shuriken. Burst. Come on, Uzumaki Ninja's signature combo. The seal created a dozen shadow clones, and then each person had 2 oversized water spiral shurikens. Throw it directly at the Bagosaurus. Don't be afraid, they are all fake, only 2 of them are real. The Marsupialosaurus uses Makiri, and then Bullet Punch. Master Dongfang didn't understand the difference between the shadow clone technique and shadow clones, and thought that these water spiral shurikens were all shadows. While calming down the marsupial dragon, he arranged a counterattack. However, reality once again swollen his face. The strong men behind him all chose to close their eyes speechlessly. The slaps came so fast like a tornado. With a scream, the marsupial dragon was directly stunned by the spiral water shurikens all over the sky. The bullet punch was ready to go, but it was forcibly interrupted. Don't worry, let him try the Rasengan again, the wave of water. Seeing that Koga Ninja had the upper hand, Shu Mu naturally beat up the drowned dog. A wave of water condensed in the palm of his hand, and the Koga Ninja flashed lightning and came behind the marsupial dragon. Boom! Injured at close range. Rasengan, the wave of water brings tons of damage to the marsupial dragon. All the big guys were dumbfounded. What skill is this? It's just your sudden transformation. What's going on with your skill? Also, people's Mega Evolution only increases the strength of a small level. How can you, a Koga Ninja, directly increase your strength by several levels? Still a human. The big guys with question marks on their faces looked at Lord Dongfang with distress. 1 versus 4. Where is the dignity of your strong man? Venerable Dongfang is also feeling uncomfortable, and he is also suffering in his heart. Who knew this kid could be so strong? If I had known that this Koga Ninja was so perverted, he would never have said anything to provoke Shu Mu. Now I'm fine, I was nailed to the pillar of shame by a new trainer and slapped in the face back and forth. No, is this kid considered a new trainer? With this level of strength, if you say you are a new trainer, who are you lying to? Silently taking back the marsupial dragon, Venerable Dongfang's face turned as dark as ink. Big Steel Snake. After releasing the next elf, Lord Dongfang was already prepared to be beaten against 5. Sure enough, in less than 3 minutes, the big steel snake was directly hammered by the Koga Ninja and was about to die suddenly. Big bang. No matter what, I can't be beaten by this kid. Venerable Dongfang gritted his teeth, thinking fiercely in his heart, and directly ordered the big steel snake to use the self-destruction skill. Shu Mu admitted that he was careless this time and did not dodge. The big explosion hit the Koga Ninja head-on, and Shu Mu, who had a spiritual connection with the Koga Ninja, also cried out in pain. Physical strength drops significantly, and the transformation state is automatically released. The Koga Ninja stood on one knee, obviously reaching his limit and unable to fight any longer. Seeing that his plan succeeded, Lord Dongfang burst into laughter. Put on his last elf, explosive beast. You're laughing your ass off. You're being beaten to a pulp by a new trainer like me. How can you still smile? At such an old age, why don't I, a newcomer who just got the initial elf less than a month ago, live like a dog? You trash, hurry up and pack your luggage and make way for the newcomers. A moth like you holding a high position is a scourge to this nation. Shumyu felt unhappy when he saw Lord Dongfang actually smiling. To deal with this kind of waste who regards face as his life, Shumyu opened his mouth and spat. Come on, who's not a Zonite? Charmander, you come up next, okay. Calling the little fire dragon, Shumyu felt a little unsure. Yo, do not worry. Charmander patted his chest and raised a strange smile on his lips. This kind of peak showdown, this kind of decisive and critical moment, should allow me, the Son of Destiny, to appear. I have been struggling for so long just for this glorious moment. Today is my chance to make a name for myself, little fire dragon, and become famous in one battle. Come on, Lao Go, who has been killing monsters for 10 years in Sha Novice Village, asks for a fight. Seeing Shumyu sending out the small fire dragon, Venerable Dongfang, who had been sprayed to the point of being autistic, laughed again. In this kind of Master King level battle, you send out an elf that has not evolved. Is it funny yet? Boy, give in, I'm afraid my explosive beast will hit you too hard and your little doll elf will be damaged. Shumyu was speechless when he saw Lord Dongfang taunting him again. There was only one thing in his mind, since you remember eating but not beating, then I will beat you until you remember me. Chapter 31. Seeing the fiery beast showing off its muscles with him, Charmander was disdainful from the bottom of his heart. I'm just a master in his early stage, what should I pretend to be? Do you have the ability to fight a frog? You take advantage of the fact that the frog is tired and pretend to be a fool. Who got used to your bad habit? After moving its limbs, Charmander smiled evilly. Slowly took off the immutable stone from around his neck and threw it into Shu Emu's hands. I don't know where to find the Mega Evolution Stone of Charizard X that was originally rewarded by the system. Yo, are you ready? I am about to start the operation and witness the miraculous moment. Charmander said as his body lit up with a dazzling white light. The light of evolution. This cautious monster that had been living in Novice Village for several years finally chose to evolve today. Since he followed Shumyu out of the old principal's backyard, he has experienced many battles, large and small, along the way. And the combat effectiveness of the Pseudo-King stage alone is no longer enough to protect himself. Normally, after so many battles, Charmander felt that his strength should have improved a lot. However, no, due to the limitation of race value, Charmander is still at the level of False Heavenly King, and the improvement is not much. Therefore, Charmander also had the idea of evolution. It just so happened that today, under the attention of many powerful people and in front of the mythical beast Yandy, Charmander had a chance to appear. If you don't show off now, when will you wait? Roar. A strange dragon roar sounded, and a single horn grew out of the little fire dragon's head, and its body became several times bigger visible to the naked eye. Fire dinosaur. What's the use of evolution? Such a weak guy, even if he evolves, he can't block the blow of the explosive beast. Venerable Dongfang is always desperate for his life. Seeing the evolution of Charmander, he immediately opened his mouth to draw hatred. It was as if all the hatred between heaven and earth was drawn to him. What, is it hard for no one to beat you? You have been an MT for a long time, are you not used to being beaten? Shumyu looked at Lord Dongfang speechlessly. To be honest, there was no point in scolding him. This old guy's face can't be too thick. He's been slapped in the face so many times and he still doesn't have a long memory. If you don't believe it, just watch, he will be slapped in the face next. Lord Dongfang made rude remarks, and the fire dinosaur was very angry. After evolving, his temper became much stronger, and he naturally became a little more irritable. With a casual burst of flames, the green lotus earth fire was used to the extreme by the fire dinosaur, spraying straight towards Lord Dongfang. The explosive beast stepped forward and used protection to block the jet of flames. Only then did Lord Dongfang escape with a small life and was not burned by the fire dinosaur. How dare you attack me? Venerable Dongfang was almost attacked. He broke out in a cold sweat and jumped in anger. Fire explosive beast, teach him a lesson, gunsmoke charge. Explosive beast is naturally obedient. Even if his trainer has cerebral palsy, he is still his trainer after all. After condensing the fire energy in his body, the explosive beast will attack. Ouch! Stop! The fire dinosaur suddenly stretched out a claw and signaled the fire beast to wait. The fire explosive beast didn't understand the situation and dissipated the charge of gunsmoke charge in a daze. He looked at the fire dinosaur, wondering what he was going to do. Wait a minute, I haven't finished pretending yet. The fire dinosaur raised its head and finished speaking arrogantly, its body lit up with dazzling white light again. Huge wings, one horn turned into two horns, thick lower limbs, sharp claws. This is Charmander's final evolved form, Charizard. Roar, roar again, this time the dragon's roar has that flavor. After the Charizard evolved, he first admired his new body, and then moved a few times to feel the sudden increase in power. Not bad, the king is in the early stage. If I try harder, I can catch up with the frog. Nodding with satisfaction, Charizard enjoyed his current power. He was satisfied, but everyone else was dumbfounded. Even Shu Mu himself didn't expect that Charmander could evolve twice in a row. This is too weird. Except for the 1,000-year-old ghost stone in the original comic, it seems that this situation has never happened. I have the key stone here, and you have the mega stone over there. Good guy, it turns out that was your idea. You were really cautious. Only now did Shu Mu understand what the little fire dragon meant. From the moment he took down the immortal stone, this guy had no intention of keeping a low profile. The ultimate goal of Go is to show off. The little fire dragon has been living in poverty for so many years, and it's time to stand up again. Shu Mu's keystone was actually given as a bonus when the system rewarded the Mega Evolution Stone. At the moment, although Shu Mu was happy for Charmander's strong rise, he also felt the deep calculation coming from the system. I always feel like I've been tricked by the dog system again. By the way, Charmander's check-in mission is to fight the master. I wipe it. Shu Mu originally thought that with a cautious character like Charmander and a temperament that would never take action unless he was sure of victory, it would be a fool's errand to complete this task. At that time, he was glad that he was stable and laughed at the miscalculation of the dog system. Result: forget it, as long as Charmander is happy. No, it should be called Charizard now. Come on, Charizard, show them something more powerful. After Shu Mu figured it out, he laughed and shouted, Mega Evolution, Charizard X. The mysterious power comes from the keystone, and at the same time, the evolution stone worn by Charizard responds simultaneously. Wrapped in the light of evolution again, Charizard continues to evolve. Black wings, faint blue flames, and a sharp dragon roar. Charizard X, enter. This time, Shu Mu was too shameless. Relying on the power brought by super evolution, Charizard X can leapfrog and challenge a fire elf with no problem at all. Come on, Charizard X, start Dragon Dance, and then give him a taste of Dragon Wave. Shu Mu didn't let Charizard X use any difficult combos or skills that were too powerful. After all, this guy has just evolved. He is not familiar with the body and is not very skilled in the use of power. These are normal phenomena. Fire explosive beast, charge with gunpowder smoke. Then continuous big character explosions. Lord Dongfang's idea is also very practical. He charges with gun smoke to increase his speed, and then uses the big character explosion to block the dragon's wave. On the field, Charizard X and Explosive Beast soon started fighting. Off the field, Sirona opened her mouth slightly and looked at Shu Mu and Charizard X in shock. She didn't expect that this new friend who saved her and Yuanlu Shark would actually have the strength to defeat the Venerable. Of course, she never expected that this new friend wanted to be her boyfriend. Come on, Shu Mu. Clenching her little fists, Sirona cheered Shu Mu in her heart with a serious look on her face. She is too pure. Sirona, who has received the highest education since she was a child, has an extremely pure mind and does not understand the intricate relationships outside, nor does she understand power and interests. She only knew that Emperor Yan needed help. Shumu was right. When Shumu and Charizard X defeated Lord Dongfang, they squatted on the ground panting at the same time. This battle consumed almost all of Shuemu's mental and physical energy. On the other side, Venerable Dongfang's expression was extremely ugly. His two licking dogs pretended not to see him, appeared next to the other venerables, and continued licking. You lost. Now I want to take Emperor Yan away. Does anyone else disagree? Shumu remembered all the disrespect that Venerable Dongfang had towards him before. Under normal circumstances, a guy like Shumu who is determined to retaliate against others would definitely not let Lord Dongfang go so easily. The main reason why he didn't take advantage of the moment to severely humiliate this old fool was that he didn't have enough cards on his side. Both elves have reached their limit. If another strong man jumps out to block the way, Shumu may not be able to handle it. Therefore, it is better to remember the matter of Venerable Dongfang first. The days are still long, and I will slowly find opportunities to get him back in the future. As for now, it is more important to rescue Emperor Yan quickly. Speaking of Emperor Yan, Shumu felt a little guilty. If the Koga Ninja hadn't forced Entei to reveal his strength, Entei might not have been discovered. In the final analysis of this matter, Shumu believed that he was still responsible. Therefore, Shuemu's protection of Emperor Yan this time was not only because of Sirona, but also because of his subjective wishes. Seeing that Shumu wanted to take Emperor Yan away, everyone present did not want to agree. But if we really want them to be like Lord Dongfang, shamelessly bullying Shumu, a new trainer, they are too proud to do it. Venerable Dongfang is quite a fool, and he still wants to build an archway, which is a bad. But not the others. They besieged Emperor Yan just to weaken Emperor Yan's strength. Some even just wanted to see the gap between themselves and Emperor Yan. Actually, it's not too much. It's just a different stance. However, if you want to take Emperor Yan away, this won't work. Not to mention Venerable Dongfang, every one of you here can't do it. Shumu shouted that it was okay, and it was okay to slap Dongfang in the face, and everyone was willing to watch the fun. But now, Shumu wants to take Emperor Yan away, which offends everyone's interests. Boy, your name is Shumu, right? Shuemu's heart suddenly sounded of vicissitudes of voice. The voice sounded weak. Being able to communicate with his own soul, Shumu subconsciously thought that this was his dog system, and he would curse when he opened his mouth. Fortunately, he still analyzed it rationally. The dog system knows its own name, so it won't ask this. I am Emperor Yan, the guy behind you. The weak voice came again, and Shumu realized that it was Emperor Yan who was communicating with him telepathically. So you can talk, why didn't you before? Shumu was interrupted by Yan Emperor mid-sentence. I don't have much time. This trip to the lower realm is mainly to complete a mission. Emperor Yan said, handing an elf egg to Shumu. The person I'm looking for should be you. I'll leave this little guy to you. He is very important, very important. King Feng told me that I must personally hand it over to the boy who symbolizes the destiny of this era. I think it should be okay if I leave it to you. Emperor Yan's voice became weaker and weaker. Shumu stared blankly at the elf egg in his hand, his mind filled with questions. So, you were sent by Phoenix King, not arranged by the dog system. Ahem, cough, cough, I have wronged you, dog system. Wait, that doesn't seem to be the point of the matter. Emperor Yan, wait a minute. Since this egg is so important, you better not give it to me. I consider myself not a good person, and I don't want to bear the fate of any era. I just want to live an ordinary life. Travel around the world with your loved one. You better not give me this elf egg. Shumu reacted and quickly refused. This Yan Emperor just appeared and brought so much trouble. Now hand this elf egg to Shumu in front of so many people. Is that okay? Shumu didn't want his life to be troubled in the future. Bullshit bulls, horses and snake gods would come to trouble him. There's no time. King Feng doesn't have much energy left for me. It's time for me to leave. Emperor Yan said, and his body slowly disappeared into the secret realm. As if he had never appeared, he just disappeared. Shumu was dumbfounded. Brother, you are repaying kindness with hatred. I saved you with good intentions, but you ended up getting me into big trouble. Just be a human being, it's so hard for me. With the disappearance of Emperor Yan, although all the big guys were confused, they knew better what interests were. The elf egg that Emperor Yan gave to Shumu is definitely a treasure. Boy, hand over this elf egg. This is not something you can have. The strong man in Western Europe spoke first, and the woman named Leona spoke, looking like she was ready to snatch it at any time. Go away, guys from Western Europe should also come to my eastern soil and make noise. Even if this elf egg rots in the east, you won't be able to get your hands on it. Bah, let's drive these two Western European guys out first, and then we'll talk about the elf eggs. The Eastern European strongmen counterattacked forcefully, pretending to work together to clear the field, and drove away the two Western European strongmen. Leona's expression changed instantly. Generally speaking, there is no regional discrimination between Eastern Europe and Western Europe. The two sides also have friendly exchanges and do not interfere with each other. But now that interests were involved, these powerful men from the East suddenly turned against each other. Sister Leona, please go back. Sirona, who had been in the dark, suddenly stood up. Don't get involved in this matter. That Leona originally wanted to take a risk and see if she could snatch Shuemu's elf egg instantly and then return to Western Europe. Unexpectedly, Sirona was here, and judging from this attitude, she was on Shuemu's side. Okay, Sirona's status is too noble. Even as a venerable, she can only obey orders and dare not disobey in the slightest. Seeing that this yellow-haired girl suddenly appeared and persuaded the Western European strongmen to retreat with just one sentence, all the Eastern European strongmen also began to speculate. Who is this girl? Be careful, young lady. People here shouldn't dare to hurt you, but it's probably impossible for this kid to keep the egg. Leona could see clearly that these strong men in the East were just a pack of wolves, a pack of hungry wolves. Shuemu's elf egg is already meat on their chopping board. The reason why no one is taking action against Shuemu now is because the wolves are hesitant due to uneven distribution of the spoils. Once they discuss it, Shuemu will be, sooner or later. This is my saint from Western Europe. If anything happens in your eastern land, you will know the consequences. Before Leona left, she shouted loudly and revealed Sirona's identity. She was afraid that Sirona was determined to protect Shuemu and would be affected in the end. There's no telling what these powerful men from the East can do. Shuemu's eyes widened and he looked at Sirona in confusion. This girl is a saint. A saint in Western Europe is equivalent to a prince in the East. He will definitely succeed to the throne in the future and be in charge of all of Western Europe. For a moment, Shuemu felt a little inferior. I am a child from an ordinary family. Even though I am the protagonist, I really don't dare to compare myself to a saint like you. I go. Shuemu couldn't help but smile bitterly when he remembered that he had coaxed Sirona and held her little hand before. Really, it turns out the clown is myself. Now, in order to save Emperor Yan, he has ended up in this embarrassing situation and ending. Your life is at risk at any time. I won't say it's embarrassing, the main thing is that I feel inferior. Sirona didn't know what Shuemu was thinking, so she slowly walked to Shuemu. Let's give this elf egg to them. It's useless for them to take it away now. I'll ask my father to get it back. Sirona said it sincerely, or in other words, she would never lie. When the strong men in the distance heard Sirona's words, they suddenly had different expressions and began to make other plans in their minds. No need, this guy is very important. It is said that he can change this era. Emperor Yan handed him over to me, but I don't know if I am worthy of this responsibility. So, let all this be decided by fate. If I am not worthy of being this guy's partner, then it is inevitable that he will be taken away from me. Shuemu looked at Sirona calmly and said in a calm tone. He was also half truthful and half false in these words. The real part was that he didn't want to hand over the egg. Although he knew that Sirona would use her connections to get the elf egg back, Shuemu still didn't want to hand it over. It's really unpleasant to be treated like fish on the chopping board, to be cut and played with at will. Shuemu would rather die together than bear such humiliation. Moreover, no one knows what kind of spirit is inside the egg or how long it will take to hatch. If Sirona's father wasted time and allowed the egg to be hatched in advance, he might not come back. As for the fake part, Shumu said to let fate choose. Bullshit fate. My fate is up to me. Shumukai doesn't believe in fate. If time travel is destiny, then why doesn't everyone do it? It is better to believe in fate than to believe in the dog system. Give the fire-breathing dragon the blood of the candle dragon, quickly. Secretly giving orders to the system in his heart, Shumu tried his best to delay the process. The host completes the Charmander sign-in task. Bring or use Charmander to engage in a master-level battle in the secret realm of Viridian Forest, reward Candle Dragon Bloodline. This is the previous system prompt. It's just that Shumu was delayed by Yan Emperor's affairs just now, so he didn't check the reward in time. Seeing that Shumu seemed to have made up his mind, Sirona stopped trying to persuade her. She just stood stubbornly beside Shumu and took the initiative to hold Shuemu's hand. I'll stay with you, they won't dare to hurt you. Shumu said before that he was protecting Sirona, and used this as an excuse to hold Sirona's soft and delicate hand. Now, the situation is reversed. Sirona took the initiative to grab Shuemu's hand. This time, she's here to protect him. It's nice to meet you. If given the chance, I hope I can be the one to accompany you throughout your life. Shumu whispered. Sirona didn't know whether she heard it clearly, her big eyes were a little confused and a little firm. Roar. A loud dragon roar. It's Charizard. The bloodline of Zulong that he successfully integrated has made a qualitative improvement in his strength. Elf. Charizard. Attribute. Fire Dragon. Strength. Peak of the King. Characteristics. Solar power in warm sunny weather, attack power increases. Skills. Reverse scale, Dragon Star Cluster, Dragon Wave, Dragon Tail, Overheating, Big Character Explosion, Jet Flame, Sunlight Flame, Tile Splitting, Steel Tail, Original Power. Sign-in task. The number of host elves is insufficient, and the advanced sign-in task has not yet been unlocked. Please host to capture more elves to increase your authority. The Peak of the King. Shumu smiled with satisfaction. As long as the current Charizard Mega evolves into Charizard X, the Candle Dragon bloodline in his body will be brought into full play. I'm afraid it's still unknown whether he will reach the peak of being a master in one fell swoop. Come on, you bunch of scum, you want to steal something from me, let's see if you have the qualifications. Shumu gritted his teeth and looked at the strong men in the distance, and roared angrily. Roar, die to me. The fire-breathing dragon also followed Shuemu's anger and let out a loud roar. The strong men were confused. However, after a brief period of doubt, they cheered up. The Emperor Yan must have left some treasure before he left, and his fire-breathing dragon absorbed it. Yes, that elf egg must be the elf egg of a mythical beast. We can't let this kid go. We have offended this kid to death today. If we let him go today, it will definitely not be easy for us when he grows up in the future. That's right, let's do it, deal with this kid first. The strong men talked in a flurry, and released their elves one after another, preparing to attack Shumu. Although they all screamed happily, they were actually panicking. Shumu is so evil. A boy of 15 or 16 actually owns 2 elves at the peak of the Heavenly King level. And he also mastered Mega Evolution. If this kid doesn't die today, he will definitely become a peerless genius in the East when he goes out. It is not impossible to be favored by the chief, and even take him as a disciple and make him a prince. If that's the case, then they must take action now and kill Shumu. No matter how you deal with it afterwards, you must not let him go now. He is so evil. If he is not eliminated, there will be endless troubles. Shumu laughed crazily when he saw a group of master-level elves attacking him and the fire-breathing dragon. In this world, people really eat people. I just want to live honestly, is it so difficult? Charizard, Mega Evolve, kill me, kill everyone you can. Koga Ninja, transform and fight with me. Cool. I would like to congratulate Ninja for being willing to do this. I am willing to go through fire and water for the Shu family for generations to come, without any hesitation. Koga Ninja croaked, endured his exhausted body, and completed the bond transformation again. What was said as a joke at the beginning turned out to be a fact at this moment. Roar, got it, Shumu. Although Charizard has known Shumu for less than a month, he can Mega Evolve, which shows his recognition of Shumu and Shuemu's recognition of him. Fight, fight for those who know themselves. Shumu got angry and took his 2 elves with him, whoever would kill whom. You really think I am a soft persimmon? This elf egg will be left here today. Whoever wants it can come, whoever is not afraid of death can come. Kill him, he is alone. Don't be afraid, it's just 2 master-level elves, let's go together. Yes, let's go together. A group of strong men shouted, but no one dared to take the lead. They are afraid. Everyone is afraid that Shumyu will kill the main force and their strength will be greatly damaged, resulting in not being able to get the benefits they deserve. People die for money and birds die for food. They are moved by profit and are willing to offend Shumyu. At this moment, I am retreating for the sake of interests, and I am hesitant to step forward. A bunch of losers, who are afraid of wolves before and tigers behind, are they worthy of becoming strong? Do you know why you can't go to the king? Because you are too weak. Trash, whoever dares to come here, I will kill 2 of you and bury them with me. Shumyu shouted arrogantly, showing no fear in the face of a group of strong men who were even stronger than him. Seeing Shumyu's taunting, Sirona was worried that the strong men would become angry, and wanted to make Shumyu calm down, so she used a little force with her little hands. Don't worry, even if I don't do this, they won't let me go. Since everything is death, why don't I die gloriously? I will trample on their dignity. Even if I die, these fools will live in my shadow for the rest of their lives. Shumyu gritted his teeth and spoke word by word. His voice was loud and he didn't care at all that his thoughts were heard by those powerful people. Asshole, I can't take it anymore. One person suddenly became furious and ordered his Rumble Rock to attack Charizard X with Rock Avalanche. Following his order, the strong men also took action. At the same time, countless powerful skills attacked Shumyu's 2 elves. As for Shumyu, no one attacked him. The main reason is that Sirona is still there and they don't dare to hurt Sirona. Shumyu is just an ordinary little person, but these people still dared to take his harvest from Shumyu's hands. But I want to continue to live and enjoy my life after seizing the treasure. Sirona is a taboo that cannot be touched. You guys really dare to take action. You have grown up. You dare to kill your father. Shumyu laughed arrogantly, while using telepathy to command the Koga Ninja frog, and at the same time commanding the Charizard X. However, there are too many opponents. Even though Shumyu was the overall champion of the Pokemon contest in his previous life, he had never encountered such a situation. Charizard X fell first. Then Koga Ninja was also attacked by these people and was beaten back to his original form. In an instant, the situation became one-sided, and a group of strong men pressed forward step by step, arriving less than 10 meters in front of Shumyu. Hand over the elf egg. With the saint here, you can still have a small life. One person looked at Shumyu coldly and said arrogantly, "Go away, trash." Shumyu looked at the man with disdain and snorted coldly. "Don't you dare kill me, you bunch of losers. I have only been a trainer for less than a month, and this is already the case. As long as I don't die today, you will face endless troubles in the future. A bunch of trash, it's useless to say anything now, come on, I already remember every one of you. The elf egg is in my arms, come and grab it." Shumyu roared, and the veins on his neck popped out. "Don't worry so much, we've already reached this point. None of us can run away. I'll do it, you control him." "No, I'll do it. It's better for me to go, everyone." The strong men did not take Shumyu's threat seriously. The reason why they didn't snatch it was because they were wary of each other. Right now, just like a while ago, no one wants to be the first. Who knows what kind of elf is in this elf egg? If it is really a mythical beast, will the first guy who gets the elf egg really hand it over? Ha ha ha, you are a bunch of scum, do you still deserve to be called a strong person? Shumyu looked at them disdainfully, still cursing unforgivingly. "Boy, shut up." One person couldn't help it any longer and yelled loudly, scolding Shumyu. At the same time, his hoodie directly activated his telekinesis to snatch the elf egg from Shumyu. At the critical moment, a voice came from far away. "It's you who should shut up." Boom! A beam of destruction and death hit Hoodie's body. A man in a blue robe walked slowly. He walked very slowly, and his whole body exuded a strong murderous aura. The moment the man in blue robe appeared, all the strong men were dumbfounded. Why is he here? Isn't he at the border? No, isn't he fighting Team Rocket? Why is he here? It's over. Everyone looked at the man in blue robes in shock and whispered in disbelief. The man in blue robe walked up to Koga Ninja and helped him up. Cool, master, I'm sorry. You tried your best and did a great job. The man in blue robe said and continued to walk forward until he came to Shumyu. He ignored the group of strong men and passed through them. Those people consciously made way for him. Boy, he is my son, he has the same demeanor as I did back then. Arriving in front of Shumyu, the man laughed and said to Shumyu. Shumyu was stunned. Everyone was stunned. What about the ordinary people that we promised? It turns out you are the second generation. We agreed to play and make trouble together, but you still go to your parents when you disagree. Shumyu also didn't expect that his father, who had been missing for many years, would come back just like this. It seems pretty awesome. Ah, Shumyu opened his mouth, not knowing what to say. What, you said go up and punch this fool? Just kidding, only a fool would punch him. This cheap dad is so awesome, even if he doesn't lick him, you still want to punch him. Forget it, let me deal with these guys first. Father Shumyu originally wanted to say something, but he thought the occasion was inappropriate. Turning his head, he looked at the powerful men. Robbing my son. You guys are really good. I won't talk nonsense anymore. Be sensible and don't resist. I won't hurt you if you kill someone. Father Shumyu said, licking the corner of his mouth cruelly, and a murderous aura broke out again. Boss Cat, let's do it. A ray of light flashed like lightning, jumping back and forth among the crowd. Following his order, a group of strong men fell down one after another. Blood splashes. Shu Emu's eyes widened and he looked at this cheap dad in disbelief. So awesome. Do these people really dare not resist? Just waiting in line to die. So good. Less than 10 breaths were taken, and the only people who could breathe were Shumyu, Sirona, and Shu Emu's cheap dad. Those strong men who had just been so arrogant in trying to snatch Shu Emu's elf eggs all died. You were so tough just now. As expected of my son, you behaved well. To make a long story short, girl, can you go over there and wait for a while? The cheap dad spoke and asked Sirona to leave first. Sirona looked at Shumyu, nodded obediently, let go of her little hand, and walked aside to apply medicine to Charizard and Koga Ninja Frog. After Sirona walked away, the cheap daddy reached out and patted Shumyu on the head. I've grown taller and handsome, but not as handsome as me. As he said that, he looked at Shumyu again. Your mother, is she okay? Shumyu nodded. She was very good. She cried a lot at first, but then she started crying and got used to it. By the way, I asked her to remarry and gave birth to a younger brother for me. Our family of 4 is living a good life. Shumyu said nonsensically, thinking to himself. Mom, this is all I can do. If you ask me to punch him now, I really can't do it. Mainly because I don't dare. This fool man is too strong. After hearing Shu Emu's words, the cheap daddy smiled. A slap hit Shu Emu's head, and he laughed and cursed. Lie to your father. Do you really think I don't know anything? You fool, you remarried, why don't you say you are not my biological child? Shumyu was stunned, raised his head and looked at Cheap Daddy in astonishment. I really am not. Forget it, I won't argue with you anymore. We haven't seen each other for so many years, so I'll have a good chat with you. When you get out of the secret realm, just pretend you haven't seen me before. Don't tell others that I have appeared. As the Cheap Daddy said, he sat down on the ground. Shumyu also sat down. He had just used the bond to transform twice in a row, and his body could no longer bear it. Want to know where I've been all these years? Shumyu nodded. I can't tell you, you're still too weak. Shumyu was speechless. I couldn't tell you, but you still asked. Don't you know that half of the words can easily rot your tongue? The Cheap Dad smiled and said again. I will help you handle this matter later, and no one will hold you accountable. Don't worry, I am a serious person. Shumyu was still speechless. Serious people kill people without blinking an eye. A serious person with murderous intent. Serious people hide their heads and show their tails. Do you think I am stupid, or do you think you are stupid? Forget it, stop talking about me. I can't tell you anything. It's quite boring. The Cheap Dad seemed to realize that he was embarrassed to chat like this, so he changed the topic. Why didn't you go to school? Shumyu thought for a moment and said, I don't want to be a trainer, so I dropped out of school. Cheap Dad suddenly became popular. You don't want to be a trainer? Then why did you come to me? This world is so dangerous. How can you protect yourself and your mother if you are not a trainer? Shumyu looked at Cheap Daddy blankly and said calmly, just because I'm not a trainer doesn't mean I'm weak. That won't work either. Where are you now? King of Heaven, Master, Leader, Supreme, these are not enough. If you don't work hard, if you and I die one day, you will really become a salty fish. The Cheap Daddy said anxiously, as if there was really some danger and the world would be destroyed at any time. Shumyu was a little helpless. Isn't salted fish bad? He now has some suspicion that he, a Cheap Dad, might be an actor hired by the dog system. Apart from anything else, the tone you gave him sounded like a dog system that wanted to become stronger. Sure enough, this world is not that simple. There must be something super dangerous waiting for you to do, such as saving the world. Shumyu sneered, I'm not going, whoever you love will go. Forget it, just do whatever you want. It's fine to live an ordinary life. It seemed that he was shocked by Shumyu's attitude. It seemed that he had thought of something, and the Cheap Daddy gave a somewhat decadent wry smile. In short, this world is very dangerous. You'd better become stronger. For no other reason than to protect yourself, you must also become stronger. The Cheap Daddy raised his head, looked at Shumyu seriously and gave instructions. Shumyu reluctantly nodded, indicating that he understood. By the way, I originally engaged you, but when I saw this girl next to you, I regretted it. The Cheap Dad clicked his tongue. He didn't expect Shumyu to be able to get such a good-looking girl by himself. It's okay, kid, it's up to you and me. Huh, engaged? Shumyu asked curiously. Tell me, which family is the girl from? The Cheap Daddy was speechless, shook his head and said, You can't recognize her, she is the daughter of my comrade in arms, but I think this yellow-haired girl is pretty good, so let's put the marriage aside for now. Seeing that he didn't say anything, Shumyu stopped asking. After all, as a human being, even though you are an LSP, you must have principles and bottom lines. You can't just eat what's in the bowl and look at what's in the pot, right? Okay, there's nothing more to explain. I feel relieved to see that you are living well. The Cheap Dad thought for a while and seemed to have nothing to say. Patting his butt and getting up, he turned his back to Shumyu. Remember, you don't have to be afraid of anyone when you go out from now on. Your father and I are still alive. When something happens, I will naturally show up. I'm working my ass off outside the border. If my son is bullied, it won't be easy. Don't worry, as long as your father is not dead, you can make a lot of noise and poke a hole in the sky, and I can cover it. As he spoke, he slowly walked away. Live well and take good care of your mother. If anyone troubles her, don't be polite, just kill them. Oh, leave first and come back to me when you become stronger. Or if you're about to die one day, I'll come back to save you. After saying this, Cheap Daddy whistled, and a war-feathered eagle fell from the sky. He's gone. That man came in a hurry and left in a hurry. Shumyu raised his head and saw that Zhan Yuying turned into a small black dot on the horizon, and finally left the Chengpan secret realm. Although the Cheap Daddy refused to tell him anything, Shumyu still analyzed some important information from the few words. Danger. He always said the world was dangerous. It's not right. Isn't there world peace here, where Eastern Europe and Western Europe live in harmony? At the border, I heard from Cheap Daddy that he was at the border, and it seemed that he was still working hard and going through battles. Also, he said he was weak. Even the Supreme is weak. What situation, what kind of danger, requires a Supreme being to deal with? Shaking his head, Shumyu decided not to think about it for the time being. Anyway, he is still a newcomer, and he is still far away from the so-called Supreme. Suddenly knowing that he was actually a super awesome second generation, Shumyu was quite excited. Did you hear that? Cheap Daddy said, you can go as hard as you want. Make a big fuss in the heavenly palace. Sure enough, let me just say that I am the child of destiny. Look, I am a time traveler, and I also have my own system. The king of the game is Koga Ninja, and the mysterious father is a super strong man. With this strength, who can compete with him in the entire elf world? Sirona has already applied wound medicine to Charizard and Koga Ninja Frog. Shumyu took the two of them back into the elf ball and said, Thank you for your hard work. Cool. It's my honor to work through fire and water for the Shu family for generations without working hard. Roar. This fight was frustrating. It seems I'm still not strong enough. I'll have to be more cautious in the future. The two guys responded to Shu Mu in the elf ball, and Shu Mu smiled lightly. Good guy, he seems to be in good spirits. Just now, thank you very much. Extra meal in the evening. Putting the elf ball on his waist, Shu Mu naturally took Sirona's little hand. Thanks. Sirona shook her head. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't help you with anything, so you don't need to thank me. Shu Mu also shook his head. The fact that you didn't leave just now is the best help to me. What Shu Mu said made Sirona confused and didn't quite understand what he meant. But since Shu Mu said so, she no longer refuted, letting Shu Mu hold her little hand and gaze lovingly at her peerless appearance. At this moment, the elf egg in Shu Mu's arms suddenly began to shake violently, perhaps feeling the power of the dog food. Then, a dazzling white light lit up. Aha! A white elf like an alpaca appeared in Shu Mu's arms. You, Arceus. Shu Mu was stunned and blurted out. Is Emperor Yan making fun of me? Your Arceus was hatched from an elf egg. A creation god hatched out of a disagreement. I saved you, but you stabbed me back. You gave me such a precious elf as the creator god just because you said you would. Are you repaying me or harming me? Shu Mu, what kind of elf is this? It's so cute. Sirona didn't know Arceus, but she thought the little guy had cute breasts. Ahem. Shu Mu coughed dryly and didn't know how to explain it. Is it possible that he wants to tell Sirona that this is the god of creation and can create a world? Or do you want to tell Sirona that this guy is the God King, the number one among all the divine beasts? Shu Mu looked at the ignorant little guy in his arms who had not yet opened his eyes, and suddenly had the urge to throw it out. Big trouble. If Arceus just obeys him, will there be peace in the future? Dad, don't lose me. Perhaps sensing Shu Mu's thoughts, Arceus' milky voice sounded in Shu Mu's heart. It's telepathy. Don't call me Dad, call me Shu Mu. Shu Mu said with a serious face, I want to be a father before I get married. That's not okay. You can call me anything you want, but you can't call me Daddy. Suddenly, Shu Mu noticed that Sirona's face was slightly red, as if she was shy. Shu Mu, who was confused, asked, What's wrong? Sirona lowered her head and replied with some embarrassment, He called me Mom. Really? Shu Mu slapped his forehead and thought to himself, You're right. Good boy, I recognize you as my son, and I will call you that from now on. Although he was ecstatic in his heart, Shu Mu pretended to be helpless on the surface and said to Sirona, Let's deal with it like this for now. He is still young and doesn't understand our adult world. It will get better in the future. Sirona nodded blankly, not knowing that she had been taken into the ditch by Shu Mu. As for why this newborn elf can telepathically, Sirona completely forgot her doubts. The sound of calling her mother had already wiped out all her ability to think. Looking at Arceus in his arms, Shu Mu suddenly thought of the dog system. Come on, let's see how you trick me this time. Don't you just want me to be a trainer? Now that I have the god of creation, let me see what other tricks you can come up with. Shu Mu opened the system panel and found that Arceus had been recognized by the system as Shu Mu's elf and occupied a slot. Elf. Arceus. Attribute. Normal. Strength. Early stage of Heavenly King, newborn. Characteristics. Multiple attributes. Arceus can use stone tablets to change into any attribute. Skills. Punishment. Sanctioning light gravel. Sign-in mission. Please wait for the system upgrade. After the upgrade, you will start the Arceus Retrieval Slate series of missions. Shu Mu smiled. He was worthy of being the god of creation. He was born a king. I even forced the dog system to upgrade. This little guy is ready. That's great. Haven't you seen him? Shu Mu looked at Sirona and asked doubtfully. According to the original work, Arceus is a legendary elf in the Sinnoh region and an entity that Sirona has been studying. But in this world, it seems that Sirona doesn't know Arceus. I don't know, I've never seen any relevant records about him. Sirona said that she had never seen this alpaca-like elf. Shu Mu nodded secretly. If even a big family like Sirona didn't know about Arceus, then there might really be no legend of Arceus in this world. His name is Arceus, he is an extremely rare elf. Shumyu introduced Sirona. Then I felt that I had regained some strength and stood up with strength. Let's go first. It's getting dark. Let's leave the secret realm first. Sirona was very obedient, nodded obediently, and followed Shumyu towards the exit of the secret realm. By the way, where do you live in Shicheng? Shumyu thought that after leaving the secret realm, there would be a problem with accommodation, so he asked. Sirona didn't know what she was thinking and answered seriously. I'm borrowing a villa to live in. It's the house of a distinguished person from Western Europe. Sirona's words instantly made Shumyu realize that rich people are different. Big shots are big shots, and they always live in bungalows when they go out. Fortunately, I, Shumyu, am now a big shot. As a top second generation, staying in a hotel is no longer worthy of my level. I want to live in a villa too. I stayed in a hotel in the city, but Charizard and Koga Ninja were injured, and the room was too small. Shumyu showed a troubled expression. Sirona was smart at this time and instantly guessed what Shumyu meant. Then you come to my place. I can't use such a big house alone. I can just give them two a chance to recover from their injuries. It's not good. It's okay. We are not friends. We should help each other. It's really not good. After all, we have only known each other not long ago. It's really okay. I really can't live in such a big house alone. All right. Shumyu reluctantly accepted Miss Sirona's invitation. Since you sincerely invited me, I will be a little polite and then accept it sincerely. Look, let me tell you, the hotel is no longer worthy of my status as Shumyu, the super second generation. Now I am also a man who lives in a bungalow. LSP's self-cultivation is so outstanding. After returning to the hotel to pick up her luggage, Shumyu followed Sirona directly to the villa where she was staying temporarily. One thing to say, this is really big. You sit down first and I'll get you a drink. Although Sirona is cute, as a noble, she still has very good qualities. As the hostess, the first thing she did after entering the house was to let Shumyu take a rest before packing her luggage. Okay, Shumyu put down his large and small bags, sat on the sofa, and looked at the huge villa. That's great. Rich people are different, although I am now considered a super second generation and a rich person. But this kind of life is really luxurious. The huge 1- and 2-story villa covers an area of 600 square meters. The interior decoration is pure European style, with smooth floors and clean and refreshing interior furnishings. At first glance, it seems that someone often comes to clean the villa. Although the owner of the villa is away, he still keeps the villa clean at all times. I can't watch it anymore. I can't help but want to watch it again. Shumyu stopped his desire to continue reading, took the drink brought by Sirona, and took a big gulp. Shumyu, look at this. Sirona held a poster with a huge trophy on it. This is, Shumyu asked subconsciously. Sirona explained. This is the Little God of War Cup competition. Only new talents with certain abilities will receive invitations. Not wanting to be a trainer, Shumyu said he had no interest in the competition. You have certain abilities, so you were also invited. Shumyu's words made Sirona blush with embarrassment. I just went to join in the fun. Sirona said, suddenly remembering that Shumyu was also a new trainer. You should go too. Didn't we also say that we would travel together? I will ask them to invite you, and then we will go to Chingcheng together. Shumyu doesn't care. Although he has no interest in the game, he has feelings for Sirona. Since Sirona is going, let's go and have fun with her. It's just a small competition. No matter how big the deal is, if it doesn't work, just push it all the way. As long as the dog system doesn't mess with me, that's fine. Shumyu added something silently in his heart, smiled and said, okay, let's go together. Seeing that Shumyu agreed, Sirona happily picked up the communicator and arranged a back door for Shumyu on the spot. When she put down the communicator happily, Shumyu said with a bad smile, did you also call like this about your quota? No, I am really powerful. Having said this, Sirona herself felt a little unconfident. Now she only has one round land shark, which seems to be really not that good in terms of strength. After all, she hasn't grown up yet. How powerful can a little princess who has just obtained the initial elf have? What's for dinner? Seeing Sirona getting angry, Shumyu quickly changed the topic and stopped teasing her. I don't know, I just eat whatever my aunt does. Sirona blinked her big eyes, looking innocent. Her way of life is to let nature take its course and be very casual, which is called cuteness in short. Okay, I'll show you my skills that night. You don't have to ask Aunt to cook. How about I barbecue for you? Shumu thought for a while and decided to have a perfect courtyard barbecue with Sirona. Outside the villa, there is a large courtyard, which is perfect for barbecue. Barbecue. Great. Sirona nodded happily, and then suddenly said, I want to eat ice cream too. Shumu was stunned. Sure enough, this was Sirona's real attack. Sirona who doesn't eat ice cream is not the real Sirona. Okay, I remember. In the evening, after Shumu had been busy for more than an hour, he finally got ready to prepare the kebabs. Come on, my little princess, let's have some ice cream and then we'll eat. Shumu naturally knew that ice cream was bad for the stomach, but Sirona just liked this. In Sirona's words, you don't have to eat 3 meals a day, but ice cream must be arranged. Charizard, light this pile of charcoal. Let Charizard make a guest appearance as a lighter, and Shumu starts barbecue. Cool, what is this? Little master. Koga Ninja smelled the fragrance and hurried over to ask. Of course, he was asking on the surface, but actually he was telling Shumu that he wanted to eat. Following closely behind were Charizard, Round Shark, and Arceus. Especially Arceus. Although this little guy was less than a day old, he was already able to jump and run on his own. This is barbecue. Wait a minute, I'll give Sirona something to eat first, and then we'll eat. Since the barbecue stove was not big, Shumu naturally chose to give Sirona the first pot first. Although the elves were greedy, they had no objections. Dad, I want to eat, I'm hungry. A voice of grievance came from the bottom of his heart, and Shumu looked at Arceus beside him. The little guy was lying next to Shuemu's legs, looking at the barbecue on the stove, his mouth watering. After all, you are also the god of creation. How can you be so greedy for a barbecue? Can you please save some face for the creation god clan? Shumu looked at the little guy speechlessly and helplessly put a skewer of freshly grilled meat to his mouth. Be careful of burning. Before Shumu finished speaking, he saw Arceus swallowing the whole bamboo stick in one gulp. You can't eat that sign, just eat the meat on it. Shumu was speechless. How greedy is this little guy? It's delicious, but also. Arceus' call came from the bottom of his heart again. Shumu reluctantly picked up one and handed it to him, and then told him the correct way to eat it bit by bit. Sirona, come to eat. Calling Sirona, Shumu handed her the first batch of baked barbecue. Sirona just took a small taste, and her eyes instantly burst into golden light. Delicious. Then, Sirona and Arceus were seen guarding Shumu on the left and right. Whenever there were grilled meat skewers, the two little cuties would look at Shumu pitifully, waiting to be fed. As for the Koga Ninja Frog, Charizard and Enland Shark. Sorry, you are not cute and don't deserve to eat skewers. The Round Land Shark couldn't bear it any longer. Seeing that Sirona and Arceus were able to eat delicious food based on their appearance, he also joined in with his big head. Ah! With a soft cry, Yuanlu Shark wanted to attract Shuemu's attention. However, maybe he was too ugly for being cute, so Shumu just glanced at him and ignored him. Continue to feed your two little cuties. Ding! The system upgrade is completed, please pay attention to the host to check. The sound of the system sounded, maybe this fool was greedy after seeing the delicious food. Shumuli ignored him and continued to roast Sirona and Arceus intently. At the end of the story, Sirona and Arceus were finally full, and each held their round bellies and ran aside to rest. Only then did the elves, who had been left out in the cold, have a chance to step forward and try to snatch food from Shuemu's hands. However, Shumu hasn't eaten yet. After feeding two little cuties for so long, he was already greedy. Wait a moment, wait until I finish eating. Then, under the watchful eyes of the 3 elves of the Koga Ninja Frog, Shumu finished eating the last piece of barbecue. Yeah, no, let's talk about it tomorrow. I didn't prepare enough today. A substantial amount of resentment gathered in the courtyard, and Shumu ran away without saying a word. After a perfect barbecue, Shumu lay on the bed and turned on the system that had just been upgraded. Dog system, you can't trick me anymore. Let me tell you, I'm a super 2nd generation now. I don't need to get stronger in the future. I can eat and drink just by resting on my laurels. So, if you want me to be a trainer, just go ahead and dream. After warning the dog system in advance, Shumu opened the panel and began to check his 3 elves. Elf, Koga Ninja Frog. Attribute, Water, Evil. Strength, Midterm Heavenly King. Characteristics, free to change every time you use a move, your own attributes become the same as the attributes of the move. Skills, Rasengan, Shadow Clone Technique, Substitute Technique, Water Shuriken, Secret Attack, Water Wave, Water Cannon, Shadow Clone. Sign in mission, bring or use the Koga Ninja to win the World King competition, Sharingan. Shumu nodded, with no obvious changes on his face. The World King competition is okay, I just don't go, it's not a big problem. Moving on to the next one, look at Charizard. Elf, Charizard. Attribute, Fire Dragon. Strength, Early King of Heaven. Characteristics, Solar Power in warm sunny weather, attack power increases. Skills, Reverse Scale, Dragon Star Cluster, Dragon Wave, Dragon Tail, Overheating, Big Character Explosion, Jet Flame, Sunlight Flame, Tile Splitting, Steel Tail, Original Power. Sign in mission, bring or use Charizard to fight Lugia in the secret realm of Meteor Falls, Kunpeng Bloodline. This is okay, Shumu nodded and said he could accept it. Just try not to go to the secret realm of Meteor Falls. Even if you go, you may not be able to meet Lugia. Even if it happens, don't panic then, at worst, if you don't fight, you'll just run for your life. When I see Lugia, I don't catch him, I just run, hey, I just play. Shumu thought about it and praised the dog system in his heart. It was quite reliable this time. There is no dog fighting operation, and the tasks cannot be completed too easily, so it is acceptable. Although after what happened in Viridian's secret realm, Shumu had a slight desire for strength. But compared to the dangers of becoming a trainer, Shumu was still willing to be content. Wouldn't it be nice to accompany Sirona around the world honestly? What kind of trainer do you want to be? Finally, Shumu opened Arceus's panel and took a look. Elf, Arceus. Attribute, Normal. Strength, Early Stage of Heavenly King, Newborn. Characteristics, multiple attributes. Arceus can use stone tablets to change into any attribute. Skills, Punishment, Natural Light Gravel. Sign in mission. 1. Bring or use Arceus Chingchong to participate in a battle, a random stone slab. 2. Bring or use Arceus to participate in a battle in Meteor Falls, a random stone slab. 3. Bring or use Arceus to participate in a king-level battle, a random stone slab. Fortunately, it's all acceptable. What kind of stone slab is this? Arceus should have 18. If we continue with this reward, we shouldn't be able to collect it too quickly. I can still survive. After thinking about it to himself, Shumu felt a little unreal. That's not right. Is the dog system better? Why don't you fool yourself into becoming a trainer? Impossible. As the saying goes, a dog cannot change its habit of eating shit. How can a dog's system be improved? This is absolutely impossible. Shumu was skeptical and saw a prompt at the bottom of the system. To ensure that the host can complete the sign-in task, the system will refresh special sign-in tasks from time to time. Once the special sign-in task is triggered, it must be completed. Really? Shumu laughed. I know you are a fool with no good intentions. Special sign-in mission. Just say it's a mandatory mission. Dog system, I have grown up and am playing around. If I hadn't taken a cautious look, I would have almost been fooled by you. Why should I be assigned a mandatory task? Can't I refuse? Shumu asked. The system did not respond as always. When Shumu gradually lost patience and started looking for ways to uninstall the system issued a new prompt. Ding. Special check-in tasks are emergency tasks during critical periods and will not occur under normal circumstances. If they occur, it must be that the host encounters an unexpected situation that cannot be solved. Shumu understood. That is to say, he doesn't need to care if he doesn't usually have this thing. But the system was frightened by Shumu's attempt to commit suicide, so it arranged an insurance policy for Shumu. If something like this happens again next time, a special check-in task will be arranged for Shumu to help Shumu escape from crises or other accidents. Okay, your explanation is acceptable. Shumu saw that the dog system seemed to really have his own interests in mind. Although he was still confused, he didn't resist too much. Let's do this for now, take it one step at a time. Anyway, Shuemyu's principles and stance are very simple. I can consider whatever he asks me to do. But if you want me to be a trainer, no way. After washing, Shumyu fell on the bed and made a phone call to Shu's mother to report that he was safe. Then he fell asleep. He was indeed too tired today. 2 consecutive bond transformations put a huge load on Shuemyu's body. The special ability of falling asleep was naturally mastered by Shumyu. On the other side, Sirona was lying on the bed chatting with the round land shark next to her pillow. Tell me, what kind of existence is Shuemyu's father? We just came all the way back, as if nothing happened. It's unbelievable. This is Dongtu. Shuemyu's father has such great hands and eyes. What kind of person is he? Ah, I don't know either. By the way, are the meat skewers cooked by Shumyu delicious? I didn't even eat it today. Seeing you eating so happily makes me feel aggrieved. Maybe it's not suitable for being cute. When the round land shark expressed his dissatisfaction and began to complain to Sirona. Sirona also mastered the legendary skill of falling asleep instantly and fell asleep directly. Early in the morning, Shumyu was given a face-licking wake-up call by Arceus. After wiping the saliva on his face, Shumyu looked at Arceus speechlessly. You guy, why are you hungry again? Is your belly a bottomless pit? After complaining quietly, Shumyu still wanted to continue sleeping. But he quickly sat up straight and jumped out of bed. I'll make you breakfast, just wait. Shumyu said helplessly and quickly calmed down Arceus. There was no way, this guy said he was hungry, and Shumyu cried if he didn't cook for him. The one crying aggrievedly seemed like Shumyu had done something unjust. Dad doesn't give me food, woo, I'm so hungry. I'm going to starve to death. I'm so pitiful. Dad doesn't cook. I'm going to starve to death. The little guy's tears made Shumyu collapse. Ancestor, don't cry. Whatever you want to eat, I will cook it for you right now. Stop crying. I'm going to cook for you now. Can you just calm down for a while? Seeing Shumyu agree, little Arceus stopped crying. Sure enough, a child who can cry will get milk. The ancients never deceived me. The naughty boy Arceus woke up Shumyu and ran to Sirona's room non-stop. Wake up with the same face licking, then pick up the snacks beside Sirona's bed and start eating. Seeing the little guy's innocent look, Sirona couldn't help but chuckle and started to wash up. After Shumyu made breakfast, Sirona also finished cleaning up. Shall we leave tomorrow or today? Sirona asked happily while enjoying classmate Shuemyu's loving breakfast. When does the game start? After Shumyu mixed the elf food, he sat at the dining table, picked up a sandwich and ate it. Sirona found the poster again and looked at it. Then he said in surprise, oh my god, the first round of preliminaries will be held this afternoon, I didn't know that. Shumyu smiled, and sure enough, if I hadn't asked, are you still planning to go to Chingcheng tomorrow? Okay, let's leave quickly after dinner. Shall we book a flight directly? Hearing this, Sirona shook her head and said there was no need to book a flight. Let Uncle Tatu come and fly us there in a helicopter. Then there should be a place to live there. Shumyu was stunned. Well, he still didn't expect that rich people could be so rich that they were unscrupulous. Private jet transfers anytime, anywhere, properties all over the country, it's just. Okay. Expressing that he accepted the arrangement, Shumyu said no more to avoid further attacks from Sirona. After breakfast, Uncle Tatu also arrived. He first handed Sirona her new identity certificate and some replacement documents, and then sat in the driver's seat. This is. Shumyu looked at the new bag in Sirona's hand with confusion and asked. Didn't I drop my previous backpack in the secret realm? These are the various documents and cards I just applied for. Shumyu nodded and couldn't ask any more questions. I can reissue so many documents in one day. I don't want to know the details and I won't ask. As for the powerful men who were killed by the cheap dad in the secret realm, and the matter of Emperor Yan, Shumyu still doesn't know how to deal with the follow-up of this matter. Anyway, no one came to ask, and Dad said don't worry about it, so it's no problem. The helicopter was very fast, and within 3 hours, Shumyu and Sirona arrived in Chingcheng. Then, led by Uncle Tatu, they came to a new luxury villa. My lady saint, I will take my leave now. After settling Sirona, Uncle Tatu left. But before leaving, he still gave Shumyu a vicious look. It's full of warning. Shumyu shamelessly pretended not to notice, whistling indifferently and putting down his backpack. There's still time, let's have something to eat and then go to the venue to compete. Sirona said, walked straight to the refrigerator and opened it. He took out a tub of ice cream and sat back on the sofa happily. Do you want to eat? Shumyu quickly shook his head. How did the ice cream girl's stomach grow? Aren't you afraid of ice? If you eat cold food on an empty stomach, won't it hurt when you get nauseous? On the way to the venue, Shumyu naturally held Sirona's little hand. Sirona was stunned and suddenly smiled slyly. There is no danger outside now, why are you still holding on to me? Shumyu was caught off guard by her sudden attack, but he quickly thought of an excuse. With a calm smile, Shumyu said, the outside world is more dangerous. Didn't your family tell you? When Sirona heard it, it seemed to be the same reason. Forget it, it's quite comfortable holding hands like this anyway, so let him hold it. In this way, the two came to the venue. After verifying your identity, go all the way to the players' preparation area. Shumyu actually didn't know that this little God of War Cup was a competition prepared for powerful new trainers. But in fact, this is a game played by a group of descendants of strong men. To put it bluntly, these are all children of big shots, that is, geniuses among geniuses. They have received two completely different education methods from civilian children since childhood. As for the elves, they have been exposed to and cultivated them since childhood. In terms of strength, it is naturally much higher than ordinary people. It is not even an exaggeration to say that this is a group of people who won at the starting point. Although it sounds unfair, the reality is that, including Sirona, she is the kind of person who wins at the starting point. However, one cannot choose one's origin, but one can control one's destiny. Running fast at the starting point does not mean that you can always lead. It still depends on personal efforts and opportunities. Shumyu, let me introduce you to a new friend. Coming back from the teleporter on the side, Sirona smiled and spoke. Shumyu was stunned when he saw her take out a new elf ball and open it. Boom! A Lucario appears. This is. Shumyu looked at Sirona. Lucario, a very rare elf. Is this guy your elf? Sirona nodded. He was born on the same day as me and we grew up together. It was because he was training with his father some time ago that he left me. But now he has completed the training and successfully returned to the team. Sirona said happily. Lucario also waved and said hello to Shumyu. Luca. Hello, Shumyu. Shumyu smiled and replied. Hello, Lucario. Luca, I heard Uncle Tuta mentioned you and wanted to take Sirona away from me. You are dreaming. As both male creatures, Lucario naturally knew what Shumyu was thinking. This guy is definitely an old LSP, and he must have bad intentions when approaching Sirona. That's right, Shumyu smiled calmly, I'm just trying to hit Sirona. Lucario, right, come fight if you don't give in. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.